Chapter 695. Huamian reacted quickly. She jumped up the moment she was scalded. When she realized what was going on, she rushed to the sink. He repeatedly washed the scalded area with cold water. Luckily, it wasn't too serious, just a few red marks. By the time the others realized what had happened, Huamian had already returned to his original spot. Why are you all looking at me like that? Huamian noticed that the other 3 people at the table were all looking at him strangely. Let me see. Mr. Qin's heart ached for Huamian. He carefully took Huamian's hand and carefully examined it. He was relieved when he saw that there weren't any major problems. I'm sorry, sis. I'm really sorry. The person who served the dishes was a young boy around 18 or 19 years old. He looked dirty, but his eyes were sincere. It's okay, you didn't do it on purpose? Huamian smiled. I'm going to buy some burn cream, you eat first. Then, without waiting for anyone to speak, Qin Chu got up and left. Zhu Lingling gave him a thumbs up. China's best husband. Girl, I realize that your brain doesn't even belong to a human. You immediately knew how to treat the scalded area. Sis, I'm a medical student, how can I not know this? But you reacted too quickly. I'm not trying to fool you, the guy who served the dishes didn't realize that you were scalded until you came back from washing your hands, huh? Huamian laughed heartily again. Suyu couldn't help but walk over. How are you? Are your chicken feet okay? Would it kill you to not speak properly? Huamian retorted. You reacted pretty quickly. With your IQ, it wouldn't be surprising if you lived to 100 years old, Suyu exclaimed calmly. I don't want to live that long, I'll be lonely. Huamian pouted and said. You can come up with 100 reasons for everything I say. Look at your mouth and logical thinking. You're really something else, Suyu said helplessly. Zhu Lingling and Gao Ran exchanged glances, but neither of them said anything. They felt that Suyu taking advantage of Qin Chu's absence to flirt with a girl was a bit. Don't think that I'm here because Qin Chu isn't here. If he's here, I'll do the same. It's fine as long as I see that you're fine. Otherwise, I'd have to worry about being bored. Let's go. I'm not eating anymore. I didn't manage to eat the pig trotters and almost ate the chicken feet. Suyu was hinting at Huamian's injury. In the end, before the dishes they ordered were served, the few of them left, leaving behind 1,000 yuan. They were rich and overbearing. Rich people are really capricious. They can choose not to eat the good food and still pay for it. Zhu Lingling sighed with emotion. Isn't it just burning money? Who doesn't? Then why don't you burn one? Zhu Lingling teased Gao Ran. I'm not that kind of person. Don't compare me to those wastrels. Who's a wastrel? Go and ask around. How much does Imperial Star make in a year? You can burn a few million yuan a day. Imperial Star is currently a well-known and leading company in China. I heard that it's going to be listed in the U.S. soon. So, if you call him a wastrel, it means that you're jealous of him. Me? Jealous of him? Are you kidding me? He's just a stud horse. What stud horse? I heard that Suyu has changed a lot recently. He doesn't get close to women anymore. Gao Ran looked at Huamian with a complicated expression. Then he pointed out something else. Anyways, if I were a woman, I wouldn't be with Suyu. If I wanted to find someone, I'd find someone like Qin Chu, a loyal dog. If I'm a loyal dog, then what are you? A donkey? Qin Chu came back at some point. He was standing behind Gao Ran. Ha! You heard him. He said that if he were a woman, he'd find someone like you, Zhu Lingling said playfully. Other than Mian, I don't want anyone else. Qin Chu sat down proudly. Then he opened the burn ointment and carefully applied it on Huamian's wounds. Huamian ate the roasted pig trotters with one hand while Qin Chu applied ointment with the other. It was such a pleasure. Every time we eat, you always torture us, don't you? Gao Ran complained with a bone in his mouth. You can torture us too. How can we torture you guys? You guys are already at the pinnacle of torturing single people. No one can surpass you. Girl, are you pregnant yet? It's been so long. Zhu Lingling suddenly thought of a very serious problem. Chapter 696. Not yet, Huamian answered honestly. You guys should hurry up and make babies. Gao Ran chimed in. Then you guys should hurry up too. We can make babies together. Maybe we'll be in-laws in the future. Upon hearing Huamin's words, Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling were shocked beyond words. What are you talking about? We haven't even started dating yet. Zhu Lingling immediately defended herself. If you call that not even dating after sleeping with him, then what are married people like us? Are we dating? Huamin laughed. Gosh, don't spread rumors. Nothing happened between us last time. Gao Ran was sweating profusely. Qin Chu added, yeah, nothing happened between the two of you. You guys just ate sunflower seeds the whole night, okay? Ha. Huamin almost wanted to give her husband a thumbs up and started laughing devilishly again. Gao Ran was speechless, Zhu Lingling was speechless. Excuse me, Mr. Qin, but can we still have fun? Zhu Lingling asked with a confused expression. You guys have to admit that you're having an affair first. We can still have fun together. You have to be honest, Huamin said. Gao Ran was speechless, Zhu Lingling was speechless. It's good that you guys are married. Otherwise, no one else in the world can control either of you. That's scary, Gao Ran exclaimed. Then they continued to eat and drink. Huamin wasn't affected by the burn. Inside the Mercedes-Benz RV, Su Yu, Wei Liao, and Tang Chuan sat in the back, listening to the sounds and drinking red wine. I'm so hungry. I should have eaten before leaving. I left 1,000 yuan behind and didn't even get to eat anything. I felt so pretentious, Tang Chuan complained. Then you can go back and eat. Lord Su's heart almost broke when he saw Huamin get burned. How could he be in the mood? Wei Liao laughed. You're still in the mood to laugh? Isn't Jiang Xiaowei getting engaged tomorrow? Why would I cry? Plus, there's nothing going on between us, Wei Liao said with a faint smile. Su Yu didn't say anything and quietly looked out the window. When Huamin got burned, he really did stand up, but then he suddenly realized that he didn't have the right. He didn't even have the right to greet her as a friend. Huamian once said that they weren't even friends, but why did his heart still hurt so much when he saw her burn? It was so painful. It was as if he was the one who got burned. Was he poisoned too deeply? Lord Su, don't feel bad. Huamin is fine. It's just a burn. Plus, look at how fast that girl reacted. She ran like a rabbit. I only realized she was burned after she was done, huh? Wei Liao comforted him. Su Yu didn't say anything. He didn't seem to be interested in anything. They were just about to happily eat pork trotters when they bumped into Huamin. He didn't know if it was fate or disaster. Wei Liao felt more and more that Su Yu couldn't extricate himself. His feelings for Huamin were getting deeper and deeper with each passing day. But the worst part was that he was restraining himself. He didn't want to be too high profile because he didn't want to cause trouble for Huamin. That was why he had been holding it in. With his fiery temper, it was really hard for him to hide his feelings. Lord Su, you've been holding it in for too long. I think you need to vent. You don't like the women in your company. Why don't we go abroad and look for foreign girls? Also, I know a few managers from famous groups in Korea. You can pick any girl you want. They're cheaper than in China. Chapter 697. You two go ahead, I'm not interested, Su Yu said quietly as he lowered his head. You go ahead, I'm not interested either. Wei Liao smiled. Then let's go to Seductive Fox for a drink? Tang Chuan suggested again. I'm going home today, you guys go ahead. Upon hearing that Su Yu was going home, the driver immediately drove him back to the Su family mansion. Ever since Su Yu became independent, he rarely returned home. Perhaps it was because he was used to being independent. When he was in the military, he basically only returned home once every 2 years. Lady Su missed her son so much that she would secretly go to the military to see him. But today he really wanted to pick her up. For some reason, perhaps an injured child needed the comfort of a family. When Su Yu returned home, it was only 8 p.m. The Su family had just finished dinner. Lady Su was flattered when she saw her son. Son, have you eaten yet? Mom, I'm a bit hungry. Come sit here and eat something to fill your stomach. I'll ask Xiaoru to make you some dishes. I just want to eat your egg fried rice. Son, What's wrong? Su Yu was not a mother's boy, so he never acted like a spoiled child. When he was 7 years old, he fought with other kids and was badly injured. When he returned home, he was whipped by his father. Even then, he never acted like a spoiled child to his parents, but today, he actually said that he wanted to eat his mother's egg fried rice. Lady Su didn't cook much, so her fried rice was very ordinary. Su Yu actually missed the familiar taste. I'm fine, Mom, I'm just hungry. Okay. Wait here, Mom will make you fried rice. Madam, let me do it. The nanny was scared when she saw Madame Su enter the kitchen. It's okay, I'll do it. Lady Su rarely cooked for her son, so she didn't want to miss this opportunity. 20 minutes later, a plate of egg fried rice was placed on the coffee table. The color wasn't good, and there was even a burnt smell. It was probably overcooked, however, so you didn't say anything as he picked it up and ate like crazy. He ate with relish. Son, how is it? Lady Su asked nervously. It's delicious. Thank you, Mom. The relationship between Su Yu's family members was very interesting. Lady Su was very gentle, Father Su was very strict, and Lord Su was both kind and strict. The Su family was strict, but they generally wouldn't interfere with Su Yu. The Su family would never do something like Lady Qin, who gave herself an interview and slapped her son in the face. Su Yu finished the plate of fried rice in just a few bites. Is it enough? Do you want me to make you some more? Mrs. Su looked at her son with concern. No need, I'm full. Do you want some fruit? Today, your grandfather's old subordinate came over from Guangyuan with a lot of fresh lychees. Shall I ask Xiaoru to wash some for you? I don't feel like eating. What about tea? The new to Hong Pao that your dad bought smells really good. It's premium. I don't feel like drinking it. After Su Yu finished the egg fried rice, he realized that he was still in a bad mood, inexplicably bad. No matter what his mother said, he wasn't interested at all. Son, is there something on your mind? Lady Su sat beside Su Yu with a white shawl and asked with concern. Yes. Is it about the girl you told me about last time? How did you know? Su Yu tilted his head and looked at his mother in surprise. Of course, I gave birth to you. You crawled out of my stomach. How could I not know what you're thinking? Lady Su smiled. Su Yu lowered his head and didn't say anything. That girl, she doesn't like you? Lady Su probed. Chapter 698. Yeah. That's normal. There are so many people in the world and they all have different personalities. It's normal for them to not like you back. Lady Su smiled. It's not that simple. Can you tell Mom? Lady Su looked at him expectantly. No, okay. She knew that this little brat wouldn't give in so easily. I'm a little tired, I'm going to sleep. Is Grandpa home? No, he's in a meeting in Jing City. Your dad's in the study. Then forget it, my dad's too old-fashioned. I'll feel even more depressed if I talk to him. I'm going to sleep now. Good night, Mom. At 9 o'clock, Su Yu lay in bed to rest. After returning to the mansion, he realized that it was much better than his mansion because it didn't feel as empty. He didn't know what was wrong with him today, but he was inexplicably pessimistic. It felt like a woman on her period, although he didn't know what it felt like to be on one's period. He felt so depressed that he couldn't breathe. He suddenly realized that he might never be able to get Huamin in this lifetime. Even if he could hold her hand, he might never have the chance to do so. Because Qin Chu took care of her in every possible way, and that kind of love was accumulated over time. It was a level that he couldn't reach right now, and it was beyond his reach. He lay in bed, took out his phone, unlocked it, and looked at it for a while. Then he logged onto Weibo and clicked on Huamin's private message. He typed in 6 words. Huamin, I like you. But after writing it, he felt that it was inappropriate, so he deleted it. After deleting it, he wrote it again, and deleted it again. After struggling for more than 10 minutes, he finally deleted all of his messages and logged out. It wasn't that he was a coward and didn't dare to confess again, but he was afraid that she would distance herself from him. After logging onto WeChat, he saw that someone had posted a chicken soup for the soul. If it's just friendship, then be good friends. Don't be too greedy, because love is too extreme. It's either forever or a stranger. Su Yu gave a rare, below the post. That guy was ecstatic and immediately replied, "Which place is Lord Su having fun at?" Su Yu didn't reply either. Then he closed his eyes and forced himself to sleep. He did not want to think about it anymore. No matter how heavy or depressing today was, after a good night's sleep, tomorrow would be a new day. After finishing the pork trotters, they were in a good mood. Gao Ran suggested, "Tycoon Qin, why don't you give us a lucky red packet?" Therefore, Gao Ran, the godly scammer, immediately created a WeChat group and added the four of them. Qin Chu sent a red envelope. Huamin's hands were quick. He immediately clicked on it. It was only 38. Zhu Lingling was second, but she only scored 22 points. However, Gao Ran, this scammer, finally opened it unhurriedly. To his surprise, there was 140 yuan. Isn't 200 yuan a little too little? It doesn't fit your status as the president, Gao Ran said greedily. Huamin immediately looked at him with disdain. The most I can give is 200 yuan at a time. How can you be a police officer with your IQ? I wonder if your ancestors' graves are smoking. Zhu Lingling also mocked him. Gao Ran was speechless. Before he could say anything, Qin Chu sent a few more red envelopes in a row, a rain of red envelopes. Each one was 200 yuan. The three of them had a great time fighting over the red envelopes. In the end, Huamin's fingers were tired. He said, "No, I'm not playing anymore. My fingers hurt and my eyes are blurry." "You're worried about your husband giving away his money, right?" Gao Ran laughed. "It's easy for you to say that. Give me a rain of red envelopes." Huamin estimated that Mr. Qin's rain of red envelopes was at least 6,000 yuan. Everyone was simply dazzled by this. I'm rich? I didn't eat pork trotters for nothing. I got more than 3,000 yuan, Zhu Lingling said happily as she waved her phone. Huamin was just about to say something when his phone rang. "Mian, come to the seafood restaurant on Badao Street." Jixin was beaten up. Huang Yu's voice sounded like she was about to cry. Huamin's expression immediately changed when he heard this. "What's wrong?" Qin Chu asked when he saw that something was wrong with her. "Jixin is in trouble." Huamin didn't wait for anyone to react and immediately rushed out. Qin Chu took out a few thousand yuan from his wallet and placed it on the table. Then he followed Huamian. Chapter 699. Let's go, we'll follow them. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling followed behind Qin Chu in their car. The four of them arrived at a seafood restaurant on Badao Street. Badao Street was a messy place, but there was a seafood restaurant there that sold delicious food for commoners. Most importantly, it was cheap, therefore a lot of people liked to eat there. Huamin and Qin Chu often went to high-end restaurants, so they wouldn't go to a small restaurant like this. However, Jixin was different. He wouldn't burn money just because his sister married into a rich family. Huang Yu wanted to eat seafood, so he brought her here. However, something happened here. Because Jixin had major head surgery, Huamin was very worried about her brother. Her hands were shaking the entire way, and she was panicking. Qin Chu held Huamin's hand as he drove. "Don't be scared, he'll be fine." "Honey, can we go faster?" Huamin's voice was shaking as well. Qin Chu ran red lights the entire way, and finally, they arrived at Badao Street, which wasn't too far away. At the entrance of the restaurant, Jing Jixin was lying on the ground, and Huang Yu was beside him, sobbing. There were a lot of onlookers. Huamin got out of the car and rushed over, pushing the crowd aside. "Jixin." She felt like her heart was in her throat, about to jump out of her chest. "Sis? I'm fine." Jing Jixin's eyebrows were bleeding, and the corner of his mouth was bruised. "Let's go to the hospital first." "Sis, I'm really fine, it's just some superficial wounds. We don't need to go to the hospital." "Mian, I tried to persuade him for a long time, but he wouldn't let me go." Huang Yu kept crying. "I said we're going to the hospital, you have to listen to me." Huamin roared at Jing Jixin for the first time. She couldn't bear to scold her beloved little brother. However, this time, she actually yelled at him in front of so many people. Even Qin Chu and Gao Ran, who were behind him, were a little scared. "My girl is mad." Zhu Lingling had known Huamin for so many years, but she had rarely seen her lose control of her emotions like this. Seeing that his sister was angry, Jing Jixin didn't dare to say anything else. Qin Chu and Gao Ran stepped forward and helped him into the car. Then, the group went to the first hospital. Outside the emergency room, "How is it?" "Huamin, don't worry. Your brother is fine. It's just some superficial wounds. Is your head okay?" "We took a CT scan. Everything is normal." The doctors at the first hospital were very familiar with Huamin and comforted her. Thank goodness, thank goodness. Huamin was scared out of his wits. If something happened to Jixin, she didn't know how to explain it to her mother. Upon hearing that Jixin was fine, Huamin felt his entire body go limp. He finally let out a sigh of relief. Qin Chu was just about to comfort him when he heard someone yell, "Young master, why are you here?" It turned out that one of the Qin family's maids went out to buy supper for Lady Qin. When she came back, she happened to see Qin Chu upstairs. Qin Chu nodded. "Young master, are you here to see your mother? Come with me, she misses you a lot." The maid had no idea that Qin Chu was here to see his mother. Qin Chu was just about to refuse when Huamin said, "You go first, I'll wait for you here." "Hey, wait for me. I'll be down soon." Qin Chu also thought that since he was already here, he might as well go take a look. After all, his dad personally called him. Hearing that his mother was really sick, he wanted to go take a look, but that didn't mean that he would forgive her. Qin Chu was determined to fight a long battle with his mother. As long as she didn't accept Huamin, he wouldn't forgive her. Hearing that Jing Jixin was fine, Huamin was finally no longer worried. She raised her head and looked at Huang Yu. She looked exhausted. "Tell me, what happened between you two at Badao Street?" Chapter 700. Me. It's all my fault. I wanted to eat seafood and Jixin said it was cheap there. The crabs are fresh too, but we didn't expect to run into Wuxia and the others there. Wuxia? Huamin frowned slightly. That's right. Wuxia and a few other men were driving by and saw us picking seafood at the entrance. They got out of the car to pick on us and make fun of us. Wuxia even flirted with me. I think he was drunk. Anyway, Jixin was very angry and started fighting with them. After a round of punches and kicks, they left in a black Ferrari. The license plate was, "I got it." Huamin interrupted her and got up. "Take good care of Jixin. When he comes out, tell him to go back to school." "What about you?" Huang Yu felt a little uneasy. "I'm fine, I'm going out for some fresh air." When Huamin came out, Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling immediately surrounded him. "Is your brother okay?" "Yeah, it's just some scratches. You guys should go back, it's pretty late." "Where's Qin Chu?" Gao Ran was confused. "His mother is also hospitalized here. He's upstairs, we'll be leaving soon." "Okay, we'll meet another day." Seeing that everything was fine, Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling left as well. After watching them leave, Huamin quickly went downstairs and hailed a cab. "Where are you going?" "Around all the nightclubs. I'm looking for a Ferrari with the license plate number CE2110. Huamin didn't need Huang Yu to tell him the license plate number because she had seen him drive it a couple of times. "At the first hospital VIP room, I thought you didn't want to come?" Lady Qin was happy to see her son, but she pretended to be angry. "Are you okay?" "It's best if he's dead, then no one will cause trouble for you guys," Lady Qin said angrily. "Why don't you go to the US with my dad to recuperate?" "I'm not going, I'm not leaving. Don't even think about chasing us away and then having fun with that little vixen. Son, she's tricking you. One day, she'll make our family lose everything, you know? I've already looked for a fortune teller. He said that the two of you aren't compatible at all. Your 8 characters are against each other, and there will be many disasters. Son, you can't be so stubborn. You must be tired. Go to bed early." Qin Chu looked helpless. Seeing that his mother was still like this, he couldn't be bothered to say anything more. "Young master, you're leaving now? Take good care of her." With that, Qin Chu turned and left. When she went downstairs, she didn't see Huamin in the hallway. Only Jing Jixin sat there with his head bandaged. Beside him was Huang Yu. "Where's Mian?" "My sister?" "I don't know, you said she went downstairs to see Gao Ran and the others off." Jing Jixin looked confused. Qin Chu immediately took out his phone and dialed Gao Ran's number. We're all leaving. Huamin? She said she was leaving with you after she saw me off. Qin Chu hung up and immediately called Huamin. Sorry, the subscriber you have dialed is unavailable. Oh no. Qin Chu felt uneasy. He had a feeling that something was about to happen. Brother-in-law, what's wrong? Where's my sister? Jing Jixin asked. I might have gone to avenge you, Qin Chu said and immediately rushed downstairs. What? Avenge? Jing Jixin and Huang Yu were both dumbfounded. Huamin didn't like Wuxia for a long time, however, he didn't want to talk to him. After all, he couldn't stoop to the level of a mad dog. Wuxia was just supporting him in the Hua Corporation's board of directors. But now, he was bullying Jixin. Jixin was Huamin's little brother, and no one could touch him. Outside Tianyu nightclub, Sir, stop here. Huamin immediately saw the flashy Ferrari. She elegantly got out of the car, took out a hair tie from her pocket, and tied her hair up. Then, she walked step by step towards Tianyu. Chapter 701. Sky Nightclub was the second biggest nightclub after Seductive Fox. However, unlike Seductive Fox, the management was a mess. People often got drunk and caused trouble. It had become a gray area for police officers. Huamin didn't want Qin Chu to come with her because there were too many people here. If someone saw them, it would affect Qin Chu's reputation. However, she was different because Hua Zhenghai just acknowledged her status a few days ago. She was part of the Hua family. Even if she had a dispute with Wuxia, it was still an internal matter. After what happened with Zhou Guangming at Seductive Fox, Huamin was no longer impulsive. Even at this moment, she was furious and wanted to tear that scumbag Wuxia apart. However, she still wanted to follow the plan. Miss, please wait. A waiter stopped her at the door to the top floor. I'm Wuxia's sister. I'm here to talk to him. Oh, you're here for young Master Hua. He's in room E10. The waiter saw that Huamin was alone. Therefore, he let his guard down. Huamin smiled and nodded. Then she walked towards room E10. When she reached the door, she didn't go in. Instead, she looked around. She realized that there was an air vent not far from here. Above it was the rooftop. Huamin walked to a dark corner in the hallway. Then she took out a lighter and played with it. She knew Wuxia too well. Therefore, she believed that she only needed to wait for him to come out. Sure enough, 3 minutes later, Wuxia walked out drunk with a hot girl. The two of them kissed all the way down the hallway. Then, they walked to a dark corner in the hallway. Neither of them noticed Huamin's presence. Therefore, when Wuxia's hand reached towards the hot girls, but Huamin suddenly spoke up. Wuxia, why are you so slow? Aren't you afraid that Wuxia will kill you sooner or later? Who is it? Wuxia turned around drunkenly. The hot girl was also scared out of her wits. Why is there someone here? It's you? Huamin said in disdain after he saw who it was. Obviously, he wasn't so drunk that he didn't know anything. Do you dare to come up here and have a chat with me? Of course, if you're scared, you can ask your hot girlfriend to go back and find your companions to give you courage. Huamin knew Wuxia's temper too well, so he only used a little provocation. You? You think I'm afraid of you? What a joke. Even if there were 10 of you, I wouldn't be afraid of you. After Wuxia finished speaking, he staggered towards Huamin. Hua Xiao. The hot girl called out quietly. You can go back first. Don't talk nonsense. For the sake of his dignity, he did not allow women to talk nonsense. The woman looked at Huamin but didn't recognize her. She thought she was one of Huamin's ex-girlfriends who was looking for trouble. Therefore, he turned around and left with his tail between his legs. Huamin smiled complacently. He turned around and walked through the door of the corridor, going up to the rooftop of the Tianyu Tower. There were a total of 10 floors in the Heaven Realm. This was the 10th floor. Although it wasn't high, it was still quite scary to look down at this late hour. Wuxia staggered up to the rooftop with Huamin. The cold wind sobered him up quite a bit. What? Are you here to get revenge for your brother? Wuxia asked provocatively. Huamin's back was facing him, and he only said one word, yes. Pa, look at your status. Do you think you can touch me? Do you really think you're a big shot now that you're back in the Hua family? Let me tell you, Dad said that you'll always be a dog that we use. A dog, understand? Chapter 702. Hua Min still didn't say anything. Her back was facing him, so he couldn't see her expression. Your brother is a good-for-nothing. He's so young but he's already learned how to pick up girls? Does he even have what it takes? The money you gave him isn't even enough to cover my daily expenses. How can you call that crappy car of his a sports car? What a joke. Ha, but the girl he's with isn't bad. She looks like a sweet, innocent girl. I wonder if he's already a virgin. I'll try her out first and help your idiot brother try her. Hua Si didn't even get to finish his sentence. He felt as if he had been punched in the stomach. Hua Min was too fast. He didn't even know when she turned around or when she came over. Hua Si knelt on the ground with one hand on his stomach and the other on the ground. He said angrily, "You bitch! How dare you hit me? I'm going to tear you apart today." Hua Si had learned Taekwondo before. Although he wasn't very good at it, his moves weren't bad. Even if he was drunk, Hua Min, a woman, was no match for him. Of course, Hua Min came prepared. Before Hua Si could stand up, a needle appeared in her hand. The needle was soaked in anesthetic, and she stabbed it into Hua Si's neck. His movements immediately slowed down. His fingers also began to lose control. "What did you do to me?" Hua Si struggled to speak. Hua Min didn't say anything. She walked up to him and slapped him across the face. "I'm a very fair person. I'll hit you the same way you hit Jixin." Then, Hua Min took out a small towel she prepared and stuffed it into Hua Si's mouth. Then, Hua Min's fists rained down on Hua Si's face. Even though Hua Min didn't have much strength, she still used all of her strength. Therefore, it didn't take long for Hua Si's face to become swollen. Unfortunately, his mouth was sealed and he couldn't make a sound. Otherwise, how could he call for help? Hua Si was hit so hard that he saw stars and felt dizzy. Hua Min was also tired. Seeing that it was about time, she pulled Hua Si's tie over. With a few steps, he arrived at the edge of the rooftop. Then she removed the towel from his mouth. "Hua Min, fuck your ancestors." Before Hua Si could finish, Hua Min interrupted him. He couldn't curse anymore because Hua Min suddenly pressed his head down towards the rooftop. This position was simply too dangerous. As long as Hua Min gave him a gentle push, he would fall off the building. The 10th floor wasn't too high, but falling down would definitely result in a pool of blood. Hua Si was scared out of his wits. Save me. Save me. If you keep shouting, believe it or not, I will push you down in the next second. This is murder, do you know that? Hua Si was about to lose his mind. No, this is murder out of passion. GK's legal team will defend me. You, on the other hand, are different. If you die, your mother will cry her eyes out, your sister will lose her beloved little brother, and your father's hair will turn white overnight. Without you, Hua Siqian will be in control of the Hua Corporation. Ha! It's perfect. Hua Min, you're fucking crazy. I'm your little brother too. Hua Si tried to play the family card, but it didn't work on Hua Min. No, I don't have a brother as noble as you. You've been surrounded by stars ever since you were born. You squander money like it doesn't matter, and you're so arrogant. Growing up, you treat everyone like dirt. Jing Jixin is my little brother. He didn't do anything to you, but you had the audacity to beat him up on the streets? Tell me, how can I, his loving sister, vent my anger? Chapter 703. Then, Hua Min tightened his grip, causing Hua Si's body to slowly fall forward. No, I don't want to die, Hua Min, I beg you, don't kill me. Hua Min's temper was gone at that moment. Hua Si was so scared that he peed his pants. He was used to mocking Hua Min and thought that the siblings were too honest. Therefore, every time they met, he would fight with them. The truth was, Hua Min just didn't want to talk to him and thought that he was an idiot. However, the incident with Jixin completely ignited his anger. Today, she pulled Hua Si's tie and staged a horror show on the rooftop. Whatever matter of life and death, all of it had been thrown out of the window. Hua Si always thought that Hua Min was scary. When she was scary, she was like a crazy person. Hua Min, I'm begging you. I won't bully Jing Jixin anymore. Please don't kill me, I really won't do it again. Please give me a chance for the sake of our father. Huosi was incoherent. His words were as spineless as they could get. Did Huamin really want to kill him? She only wanted to scare him. She had already avenged Jixin and achieved her goal. I see. Then when you go back, if someone asks about your face. Huamin deliberately stopped talking. I'll say that I got drunk. Oh, then if you see Jixin? I'll take a detour, I won't cause trouble for him. Oh, that sounds good. Huamin, I swear, I'll do what I say, or else my whole family will die, Huosi swore. It seemed like he was really scared by Huamin. If what happened today gets out, don't worry, Huamin, will kill you even if I have to give up my life. The scariest thing about you isn't his background or money, it's his suicidal spirit. After speaking, Huamin suddenly pulled him back from the edge of the rooftop. Then he fell to the ground. At that moment, Huosi felt like he had come back from the brink of death. He was so scared that his legs went numb. Huamin pulled out the thin needle from Huamin's neck. Then she said, "Don't ever touch Jing Jixin, he's my bottom line." After saying that, she went downstairs without saying a word. Huosi sat there for half an hour until the anesthetic wore off. Then he walked downstairs, trembling. He didn't even go back to his room, he left heaven. When Huamin's he saw Qin's cars. Qin's is also just as he was about to enter heaven, he saw Huamin walk out. He opened the door and got out. Then he immediately walked up and hugged Huamin. It felt like he had regained something he had lost. Good. I'm glad you came out. I'm fine, I was just angry, so I taught Huosi a lesson. Huamin smiled slightly. Qin Chu looked down and saw Huamin's fists. They were all red and swollen. His heart immediately ached. Let's go home and talk. He hugged her and turned around to get into the car. After Qin Chu got home, he called Jixin to tell him that he was safe. Then, he took out the first aid kit and cleaned Huamin's wounds. Huamin's fair hands were covered in wounds. Qin Chu didn't need to guess to know that Huamin had a way to beat Huosi up. However, he used too much strength when he hit Huosi, so the wounds on his hands were still shocking. How much strength did you use? Can't you find some tools? Qin Chu felt like his heart was about to break as he applied medicine on Huamin's wounds. It's better to do it myself. Huamin stuck out her tongue. You really do love Jixin. Qin Chu was actually a little jealous. Although he knew that his brother-in-law was only a child, Huamin was almost willing to risk his life for him. Qin Chu didn't ask about what happened at heaven. All he wanted was for Huamin to come back safely. Otherwise, he would really do something crazy like bathing heaven in blood. Qin Chu carefully wrapped the last layer of gauze around Huamin's arm. Then he carried her upstairs. My hands aren't good today, so I won't take a shower, honey. Huamin slowly said when she saw that Qin Chu was about to carry her into the bathroom. I'll help you. These 4 words were like a sudden clap of thunder. Although they had been married for so long and had seen each other naked, was it really okay for her husband to help her take a shower? While Huamin's imagination was running wild, Qin Chu had already started taking off her clothes. Chapter 704. Huamin lifted her bandaged pig trotters and shyly covered her face. Qin Chu smiled. After taking off her clothes, he carefully placed her in the warm bathtub. He picked up the shower gel and began to wipe her clean. There wasn't a hint of lust in his actions, it was the love of a husband for his wife. Qin Chu patiently bathed Huamin as if he was taking care of a child. However, Huamin's heart began to subtly change. When Qin Chu's fingers brushed across her skin, she felt as if there were a lot of little bugs jumping around in the depths of her heart. The more she thought about it, the redder her face became. Honey, what are you thinking about? Qin Chu calmly asked as he wiped her white body. Nothing. Huamin refused to admit it. Then why are you blushing? Maybe it's because it's too hot. It's so stuffy. Huamin found an excuse. No way. The temperature here is set to 20 degrees, even I feel a bit cold. Are you sure you're still hot? Qin Chu couldn't help but laugh. What do you know? Men and women have different body structures. Men's blood circulates slowly, so they can't feel hot or cold clearly. Women, on the other hand, have a fast metabolism, so we age faster than men. Huo Mian took out her professional knowledge and explained everything clearly and logically. Qin Chu couldn't help but laugh. What are you laughing at? Huo Min looked at Qin Chu in confusion. Honey, do you think I've never studied medicine? How dare you talk to me about professional knowledge? Huo Min suddenly realized why he had to use this to trick her. Mr. Qin was the most famous doctor in the world. How could she not know? People say that a husband who always undermines his wife isn't a good husband. So, Qin Chu continued to ask. So, in order to be a good husband, you don't have to say things so clearly. Just play dumb. Okay, honey, you win. You win because you're shameless. Huo Min couldn't stop laughing. She reached out her hand and wanted to hit Qin Chu's head. However, as soon as she reached out her hand, the pain made her retract her hand. It hurts. Didn't I tell you not to move? Honey, do you have something to do later? No, then can we? Huo Mian lowered her head shyly after she finished speaking. She really couldn't bring herself to say it. What? Nothing. I mean, can we watch some TV before we go to bed? No, your hand is injured. You need to go to bed early today. Qin Chu refused. 40 minutes later, Qin Chu carried Huo Min out of the bathtub and wrapped her in a thick towel. Qin Chu took out a white silk nightgown from the closet and carefully put it on Huo Min. Then, Qin Chu went to take a shower. When he came back, he hugged Huo Min in bed. You're still not sleeping? Qin Chu heard Huo Min's uneven breathing. I'm probably too bored. Huo Min's mind was full of messy thoughts, so she wasn't in the mood to sleep. Husband and wife life. It was better for the man to bring it up, but her husband was too calm tonight. Huo Min was conflicted. How should she bring it up? Would it be too impolite to say it directly? Honey, do you want it? Qin Chu saw her conflicted expression and asked directly. Ahem. I'm giving you one last chance. If you don't tell me the truth, then I'm going to sleep. Qin Chu teased her on purpose. Huo Min hesitated for a few seconds upon hearing how serious her husband was. She bit her lip and said, Honey, I lied. I want it. Go to sleep, honey, it's late. Qin Chu, you bastard. Huo Min was furious that he lied to her. Qin Chu couldn't help but laugh. Then he rolled over and pressed himself on top of her. Chapter 705. Originally, I didn't want to torture you because your hand was injured, but honey, you're the one who initiated it. Then, before Huo Min could say anything, he kissed her passionately. Qin Chu's movements were sometimes gentle and sometimes domineering. At that moment, Huo Min didn't want to think about anything else. She just wanted to enjoy the beauty of their relationship. The next morning, Huo Min lazily got out of bed. Qin Chu wasn't home anymore. She received a message from him on WeChat. Honey, I'm going to the company. It's the weekend, you should rest at home. Qin Chu had been busy with GK's 30-year anniversary. Huo Min's hand was injured, so she couldn't help much even if she went to the hospital. Plus, it was the weekend, so she had the day off. However, she didn't have the time to relax because today was an important day. Jiang Shaowei's engagement. At this thought, Huo Min immediately got out of bed. She couldn't waste a second. After she washed up, she picked out a pair of light blue suspenders from her closet. She wore white sneakers and a white long-sleeve t-shirt. It was a very youthful look. However, she knew that even though it was a simple outfit, the fact that Qin Chu hung it in her closet meant that the price was ridiculous. Huo Min wasn't into luxury goods, so she probably felt the same way no matter what she wore. Jiang Shaowei's engagement party was going to be very grand, but she definitely couldn't steal the limelight. The more low-key, the better. After she dressed up, Huo Min put her hair in a bun and went downstairs with a white Dior bag. A young lady, it's time for breakfast. I'm not eating, I'm going to my friend's engagement party. Huo Min was in a good mood. But Mr. Qin said, a young lady has to eat less, or else her stomach won't be able to handle it. Uncle Li was in a difficult position. It seemed like Qin Chu had already told her. Huo Min thought for a moment, then took a piece of toast from the table and ate it in 3 bites. Then she drank half a glass of milk. Is that all? Thank you, Uncle Lee. Huamin waved his hand and left South Hill Manor happily. Ritz-Carlton Hotel. Although Jiang Shaowei and Du Jianan were not super rich, their influence was not low. Because Du Jianan was in the environmental protection industry, he had a good relationship with the political world. In addition, he was Gao Rant's cousin, so many people from the municipal bureau came. Jiang Shaowei's parents were both professors and were highly respected in the city. Therefore, when Huamin arrived, it took him a long time to find a parking space. Then she got out of the car and walked in. Jiang Shaowei was wearing a white strapless wedding dress. Her hair was tied up and she had exquisite makeup on her face. She was beautiful, but unfortunately, there was no smile on her face the whole time. However, when she saw Huamin, she revealed her canine teeth. She stepped forward and intimately held Huamin's arm. What took you so long? I overslept. Looks like we didn't do anything good last night. You're so dirty. Huamin was speechless at Jiang Shaowei's words. She was an unmarried girl, but her words were shocking. It looks like President Qin has great stamina. Work hard and give birth to a baby soon. Then I can be his godmother. Can't you think of something new? Huamin looked at her with disdain. Then I'll marry you. Okay, you win. Jiang Shaowei was in a great mood when Huamin arrived. She dragged her to her parents and introduced her to them. It seemed like she valued Huamin as a friend. Some people said that Jiang Shaowei was friends with Huamin because she was a young lady from GK. However, Huamin was the only one who knew the truth. Jiang Shaowei was always arrogant and liked to show off. She was much more domineering than Huamin. She didn't lack friends in the rich circle. The reason why she chose Huamin as her friend was because she admired him. Especially when it came to treating an young, Huamin's inhumane way of doing things impressed her. Just as they were happily chatting, Huamin suddenly saw a familiar figure appear at the door. Xiao, oh look who's here? Huamin lowered his voice and said. Jiang Shaowei looked up and saw Wei Liao, who was dressed very formally today in a white suit. Behind him was Su Yu, who was wearing a dark blue casual jacket. Chapter 706. Why is he here? Jiang Shaowei was a little surprised. How would I know? Didn't you tell him? Huamin vaguely remembered that Wei Liao asked him about it yesterday. It seemed like he didn't come with good intentions. Was he really not here to steal the bride? How could I be that bored? As soon as Jiang Shaowei finished speaking, she saw Wei Liao and Su Yu walking towards her. You look beautiful today, Wei Liao said with a smile. Thank you, Jiang Shaowei replied politely. He was completely different from his usual comical style. Su Yu's mind was only on Huamin. He didn't want to come to Jiang Shaowei's engagement party, and he wasn't familiar with Du Jianan either. However, Wei Liao insisted on coming. Tang Chuan went on a vacation overseas with a female confidant. Su Yu was the only one left at home, but Su Yu was adamant about not coming. In the end, Wei Liao made a big move and only said that Huamin would come as well. Then he silently agreed. Seeing Huamin dressed in such an age-appropriate outfit, Su Yu thought that he looked cute. However, he never meant what he said, so he said with a straight face, Do you think you're cherry meatball? How old are you to dress up like this? Do you have a complex? Su Yu, are you the Pacific Police? Why are you so nosy? Is Imperial Star very free these days? Huamin retorted. Jiang Shaowei chuckled on the side. The two of them were a pair of quarrelsome lovers, bickering whenever they saw each other, without exception. Everyone, take a seat. I'll go greet the other guests. Mian, help me greet Lord Su and young Master Wei. After speaking, Jiang Shaowei smiled apologetically and left. Huamin felt awkward at first, but when he saw that there were so many people around, he didn't have to be so pretentious. Therefore, he found a place and sat down with Su Yu and the others. The seating order was Su Yu, Wei Liao, Huamin. After Su Yu cleared his throat, Wei Liao immediately stood up. I'll go to the bathroom first. How could he dare to sit between Lord Su and Huamin? Wasn't that courting death? What happened to your hand? Su Yu lowered his head and saw that Huamin had removed the bandage. However, a layer of blood still formed. Oh, I got into a fight with someone last night and broke my hand. Fight? Su Yu looked at her as if she was an alien. Wasn't he still fine when he ate the pig trotters last night? How did he get into a fight with someone? However, when he thought about it, he suddenly asked happily, "Who did you fight with? Was it Chinchu?" Even the people on Earth could tell that he was gloating. Huamin, it's good for you to talk less. You'll easily expose your intelligence, Huamin said faintly. It wasn't Chinchu? Who would dare to touch you? Suyu was very curious. Don't ask about everything. It's not good for you to know too much. Huamin didn't say anything. Then, she picked up a bottle of blueberry juice on the table and was about to drink it when Suyu snatched it away. Girls can't drink juice that's too sweet. It'll make you fat. Drink mineral water. Then, Suyu pushed the bottle of Evian mineral water in front of Huamin. I want to sit at another table. Huamin couldn't take it anymore. He stood up and waved his hand. Jiang Shaowei walked over with a smile. What's wrong? You don't like Lord Su? If you don't, you can try sitting here. You damned girl, how dare you dislike me? Do you know how many women want to sit at the same table as me? Suyu was irritated, because Huamin actually disliked her. That doesn't include me, okay? Also, you're in the terminal stage of narcissism. Remember to bring your medicine when you go out next time. Suyu, what are you so happy about? Wei Liao came back from the bathroom and joined the conversation with a smile. Jiang Shaowei glanced at Wei Liao with a complicated expression. Before she could say anything, one of Jiang Shaowei's assistants walked over and whispered something in her ear. Then, Jiang Shaowei's expression changed slightly. What's wrong? Huamin realized that something was wrong, so he looked up and asked. My fiancé ran away from the wedding. Ran away from the wedding? Not only Huamin, but Wei Liao and Suyu were also stunned. Chapter 707. Yeah. Jiang Shaowei smiled faintly. What are you going to do with all these people? What are you going to do? Wei Liao looked at Jiang Shaowei sympathetically. Let's do something about it. After speaking, Jiang Shaowei turned around and left. Wei Liao sat down beside Suyu, and the three of them didn't speak. Does anyone know what's going on? Huamin looked at the two of them. I know that Du Jianan has been flirting with his secretary, but the Du family looks down on her. Yet another story of breaking up an affectionate couple. What a tragedy! Huamin sympathized with this kind of love that was hindered because of their family background, just like how he and Chinchu were back then. Does Shaowei know about this? She knows, I told her, but she didn't seem to care. She said that marriage is a tool for mutual benefit. If Du Jianan didn't come today, Shaowei would be embarrassed. If he didn't want to get engaged, he should have said so earlier. What a scumbag. After speaking, Huamin couldn't help but stand up. What are you doing now? Suyu looked at her. I'm going to ask Gao Ran. She thought that Gao Ran would definitely come to this event. However, after looking around, she didn't see him. She picked up her phone and called Gao Ran. Hello, Huamin. Where are you? I'm on a mission. You didn't come to your cousin's engagement party? Huamin was a little surprised. No, what? Your cousin seems to have run away. I heard that he doesn't know what to do here. He's always had that secretary in his heart. Even if he's with Jiang Shaowei, he won't be happy. Gao Ran seemed to know a lot. If that's the case, why didn't you make it clear before? Now that we've left this mess behind, what's a girl like Shaowei going to do? Huamin's tone was full of resentment. My cousin might be pressured by my aunt and the others. Forget it, this is not something we can interfere with. I still have a mission to carry out. Talk to you later. After hanging up the phone, Huamin felt even more depressed. She walked over and held Jiang Shaowei's hand. Shaowei, tell your parents to cancel it. Du Jianan probably won't be coming. Jiang Shaowei nodded and replied, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I know what to do. Suyu and Wei Liao sat side by side. Suyu looked at him and smiled. Shouldn't you be happy that the engagement didn't work out? Why should I be happy? I won't expose you. Anyway, you can be happy. Suyu knew how Wei Liao felt about Jiang Shaowei. Now that her engagement didn't work out, Wei Liao was indeed quite relieved, but his heart ached. Wasn't running away from marriage something that the woman usually did? This time, the man ran away from the marriage. Jiang Xiaowei was such a strong-minded person. Her self-esteem would probably be severely damaged, right? Who knew how sad she would be when the time came? The engagement party started at 10:38 a.m. It was already 10:37 am. Du Jianan had no intention of coming. Du Jianan's parents were so anxious that they couldn't call him. They called the company, but President Du wasn't there. A living person just disappeared into thin air. The Du family was humiliated, and the Jiang family was even more humiliated. The Jiang family's parents were indifferent to fame and fortune. They only cared about their family's reputation. Now that something like this happened, the Jiang family's parents were both anxious and angry. Their hearts ached for their daughter the most. Xiaowei, you should go first. Your dad and I will go up and announce that your engagement party is cancelled. We'll deal with it if anything happens, Jiang Xiaowei's mother said. It's okay, Mom. I'll deal with it myself. After speaking, Jiang Xiaowei walked up to the center of the stage with a microphone in her hand. In front of more than 300 guests, she slowly said, Dear guests, thank you for coming to our engagement party. Unfortunately, Mr. Du Jianan thought through some things before the party and felt that we weren't suitable for each other. So, we've decided not to get engaged. After she finished speaking, everyone began to talk about it. It's been hard on her. Huamin looked at Jiang Xiaowei with heartache. Then, she continued, but today is a good day. Since I'm here, I don't plan on going back empty-handed. I also don't want to waste all the food I prepared. So, I have a bold idea. Are there any single men in the audience who want to get engaged to me? If you dare to go up on stage, I'll dare to hold your hand. If you dare to promise me that you'll spend the rest of your life with me, I'll never leave you. After Jiang Xiaowei finished speaking, everyone went into an uproar. Was she publicly choosing an engagement partner? That was crazy. This woman is crazy. Su Yu took a sip of his blueberry juice and said in all seriousness. Chapter 708. Su Yu wasn't the only one who had this thought. Everyone else had the same thought. Huamin, on the other hand, found it interesting Jiang Xiaowei was just like her. Sometimes, she did things in a strange way and didn't play by the rules. However, it was precisely because of this that life was full of surprises. What is our daughter doing? The two elders of the Jiang family were speechless. The two elders of the Du family were also embarrassed. Their future daughter-in-law was going on stage to choose a fiancé, and she was going to get engaged on the spot. Was this really a good idea? The people below the stage began to discuss. Although there were a lot of single men, and Jiang Xiaowei was quite well-to-do, no one dared to rush over. For one, they didn't want to be the center of attention, and for two, they didn't think it was reliable. If they offended the Du family because of this, hurry up and pull your daughter off stage. It's too embarrassing, Mrs. Du said. What's so embarrassing about it? Is it as embarrassing as your son? He ran off with that secretary. Don't think that we're stupid and don't know anything. I thought it would be fine to just play around before the wedding. I didn't think that my daughter would have to bear such a huge responsibility alone. If you guys are so shameless, why should we? I support my daughter. If she really finds someone better than your son, I'll be more than happy. Mrs. Zhang's words made the two elders of the Du family feel very embarrassed. About 3 minutes passed, but still, no one went on stage. Jiang Xiaowei stood on stage with the microphone, feeling a little awkward. Huamin looked at Su Yu and Wei Liao. You guys really don't want to go on stage? I don't like her. Su Yu continued to calmly drink his blueberry juice. Wei Liao seemed to be in a dilemma. Ever since he was a kid, he had always been calculative and had never been so reckless, although Jiang Xiaowei was really good, but he still had too many concerns. Huamin said faintly, all the meetings in the world are unexpected, and all the departures are planned for a long time. I know you're a person who's good at planning, but love can't be planned, because you don't know when it will suddenly come and leave. It's because of these unknown factors that life is full of surprises. I don't know if I'm right, but you should be interested in Xiaowei, and Xiaowei doesn't seem to have no feelings for you either. If that's the case, why don't you give it a try? You can save her today, but she might save you in the future. This was an era of peace. Naturally, there was no such thing as chaos. The troubled times that Huamin spoke of were merely Wei Liao's ups and downs in the sea of love over the years. He had never met a true person. Perhaps Xiaowei was his terminator. Even Suyu was touched by Huamin's words. Then he nudged Wei Liao and said, "Hurry up and go, it's now or never." Wei Liao gritted his teeth, stood up, straightened his suit, and walked up to the stage. His white suit today really matched Jiang Xiaowei's gown quite well. Was this God's will? After Wei Liao went up on stage, Suyu looked at Huamin and said, "You talk so much about other people, but why are you so dumb when it's yourself?" "How am I dumb?" Huamin stared at Suyu. Suyu was silent for a few seconds. In the end, he didn't say what he was thinking. Instead, he changed the topic and said, "Is it really okay for us to encourage young Master Wei like this?" "We're not encouraging him. They both want to do it, okay?" Huamin was almost certain that with Jiang Xiaowei's IQ, she wouldn't publicly choose a stranger. The only reason she did this was because she wanted Wei Liao to go up on stage. Although things were progressing a little fast in this day and age, there was nothing that couldn't happen. The moment Wei Liao went up on stage, Jiang Xiaowei felt her heart finally settle down. He didn't disappoint her. When the audience saw Wei Liao go up on stage, they went crazy. Isn't that the second son of Qingnan's Wei family? He's quite handsome in person. Yeah, he's going up on stage to get engaged to Jiang Xiaowei. How come the Wei family doesn't even know? The audience went crazy again. Wei Liao walked up to Jiang Xiaowei and held her hands in front of everyone. Chapter 709. For the rest of my life, please take good care of me. Wei Liao only said 6 words, but the entire room went into an uproar. Jiang Xiaowei had always been arrogant and short-tempered, but today, because of Wei Liao's words, she began to cry. Unlike other men, he didn't promise her flowery words or empty promises of being together forever. He simply said, "For the rest of my life, please take good care of me," but it contained far too much. "Trust me, I won't let you down," Jiang Xiaowei said with tears in her eyes. The entire room erupted into thunderous applause. Huamin clapped his hands as hard as he could, but he ended up hurting his wound. "Ouch, it hurts." "Be gentle, they're getting engaged. Why are you so excited?" Suyu was helpless. Seeing Huamin in pain, his heart ached as well, but his mouth was still as sharp as ever. "I'm happy. I know a few couples who are developing relationships, but none of them are like them. The truth is, love doesn't come when you're ready. Sometimes, it leaves when you're ready. I hope that Wei Liao and Xiaowei can have a good future." Huamin looked at the 2 people on the stage who were gazing at each other with deep affection, and his heart was moved. Suyu looked at Huamin's side profile and felt his heart ache. "You're so good, but you don't belong to me." This was what he wanted to say to Huamin. What was originally an engagement banquet because Huamian ran away, but because Wei Liao went on stage, it became a beautiful marriage. Other than the Du family and friends, everyone else attended the banquet. Huamin had a great appetite and ate 2 bowls of rice, thinking that today's dishes were exceptionally delicious. No one dared to sit at Suyu and Huamin's table. The only person who sat at the table was Wei Liao, who went on stage as the male lead. The others did not dare to sit because they did not dare to offend Suyu. Thus, only the 2 of them ate the 18 dishes. It was very extravagant. Suyu handed a tissue to Huamin. "Wipe your mouth. Don't you care about your image at all? Eat when you're hungry and sleep when you're sleepy." "It's so simple," Huamin retorted. Suyu didn't have much of an appetite, but when he saw Huamin eating so happily, his appetite was aroused. He picked up the bowl of rice and ate slowly. When he saw Huamin pick up a dish, he followed suit and actually found it surprisingly delicious. "Son, you're here too." Suyu heard her voice and turned around abruptly. He was a little surprised. "Mom, why are you here too?" "Madame Jiang and I are good friends. There were too many people, so I saw you." Lady Su smiled gently. "This is?" Lady Su saw her son sitting with a girl from afar. Her son looked at the girl with a doting gaze. She had never seen such an expression in the past 20 years or so. "Ah, this is my friend, Huamin," Suyu awkwardly introduced as he rubbed his nose. "Hello, Auntie." Huamin smiled. "Hello." Then, Lady Su turned around and sat between Huamin and Suyu. Miss, how old are you this year? 24. What do you do for a living? Nurse. What kind of people do you have in your family? Mom, what are you doing? Are you doing a background check? Suyu couldn't stay calm. He pulled his mother and gave her a look. Lady Su rarely paid attention to the news, so she didn't know that Huamin and Qin Chu went public a while ago. She only thought that Huamin was a little girl who just graduated. Annie, Suyu and I are just normal friends, very normal friends. Huamin was afraid that Lady Su would misunderstand, so he immediately explained. I understand. Lady Su continued to smile gently. Mom, you should go home. Call me if you need anything, huh? Suyu didn't want his mother to ask, so he directly sent his mother away. Before Lady Su left, she didn't forget to pat Huamin's shoulder. Miss, I'll treat you to dinner when you're free. Thank you, Annie. Huamin looked at the unbelievably gentle Lady Su and didn't know what to do. After sending his mother away, Suyu let out a sigh of relief. My mom, she's just like that, don't take it to heart. Huamin nodded. At this time, Wei Liao and Jiang Xiaowei came over to propose a toast. Hey, newlyweds, are you going to consummate your marriage tonight? Suyu looked at Wei Liao and smiled shamelessly. Chapter 710. Suyu was just joking, but Jiang Xiaowei blushed. Don't make fun of us. Wei Liao chuckled as he looked at Suyu and Huamin. Come on, let's have a toast to your fate. Suyu stood up and raised his glass. Huamin stood up as well. I'm very happy today, thank you for coming. Jiang Xiaowei smiled, revealing her signature canine teeth. Huamin felt a lot more relaxed. Luckily, Jiang Xiaowei saved the day. They were going to leave after dinner, but Jiang Xiaowei wouldn't let them. After the guests left, Jiang Xiaowei and Wei Liao changed out of their casual clothes. Then, the four of them prepared to continue eating. However, just as they got into the car, Jiang Xiaowei's phone rang. It was Du Jianun calling. Xiaowei. I'm sorry. It's okay. Xiaowei. Ting Mei slit her wrist today in the county town. I couldn't watch her die, so I sent her to the hospital. But I know my parents won't accept her, and she won't be my wife in the end. Du Jianun's voice was a little hoarse. He didn't sound like he was lying because he sounded very tired. So? Jiang Xiaowei raised her eyebrows. So, can we postpone our engagement for a few days? Du Jianun asked tentatively. Haha. Jiang Xiaowei chuckled softly. Xiao, you give me a chance, I'll be good to you. We'll get married at the end of the year. I promise I won't have anything to do with Tingmei anymore. Du Jianun hurriedly promised. I'm sorry, you couldn't attend the engagement party today, but someone else already did it for you. What do you mean? Du Jianun was confused. At this moment, he was still in the county town. After rescuing the secretary, he turned on his phone and called Jiang Xiaowei first. Although he didn't love Jiang Xiaowei, she was indeed a good choice for his wife. She was young and pretty, a straight-A student who came back from overseas, came from a family of scholars, had a high income, and worked in the police department. It couldn't be any more perfect. If he married a woman like her, he would be happy to be a vase, right? Although they had only met once before, they had a meal together. What I mean is, you were eliminated because you were late. You don't get a second chance, and I've already given it to someone else. I'm already engaged, thank you for making my marriage. I'll treat you to sweets when we get married. After speaking, Jiang Xiaowei swiftly hung up the phone. Then, she decisively blacklisted him. She didn't care what his reason was. She couldn't forgive him for standing her up at the engagement party. She didn't know how, she Huamian, and she didn't know how she was. If Wei Liao didn't save her today, she would have become a joke. So, she would never choose to forgive those who hurt her, and she would never give those who hurt her a second chance to hurt her. Who is it? Wei Liao asked nonchalantly. Du Jianun, Jiang Xiaowei replied honestly. Is that the guy who ran away? Huamin honestly didn't have a good impression of Gao Ran's cousin. Compared to Gao Ran's character, Huamian's was worlds apart. Yeah, he said he was sorry and asked if I could postpone the wedding party. Fuck. I can't believe he said something like that. I'm going to punch him in the face, Su Yu cursed. Wei Liao smiled but didn't say anything. He should be thankful that Du Jianan ran away. He helped him and Jiang Shaowei get married in a chaotic world. Do I look like someone who's easy to bully? Jiang Shaowei smiled as she asked the three people in the car. Chapter 7:11. The other three shook their heads in unison. No one was easy to bully, not even Jiang Shaowei. She was too terrifying. Thinking back to the day when she made Wei Liao run around naked at Seductive Fox, she still had lingering fears. She looked at the time and saw that it was almost time for Qin Chu to get off work. Huamin immediately said, "No, you guys go have fun. I have to pick up my husband from work." Pick him up? Can't he find his way home? Su Yu looked at him with disdain. They're just a couple, go. Jiang Shaowei was more understanding. Therefore, Huamin was driven back to the hotel entrance and drove to GK. Seeing that Huamin had left, Su Yu got out of the car and left as well. Suddenly, only Wei Liao and Jiang Shaowei were left in the Mercedes-Benz RV. Where are we going next? Jiang Shaowei asked. Whatever you say, I'll listen to you. Wei Liao was still a bit reserved. After all, he wasn't prepared for this sudden engagement at all. It was too sudden. Let's go to my place. Wei Liao was surprised by Jiang Shaowei's openness. Then she added, my parents don't know you that well yet. Wei Liao suddenly realized what was going on. You live with your parents? Of course, where else did you think? Jiang Shaowei looked at him with disdain. Maybe I'm thinking too much. I thought you were going to bed? Jiang Shaowei finished his sentence for him. Ahem. Wei Liao was embarrassed and coughed violently. We're engaged, of course we're going to bed, but not at my place. My parents are at home and the soundproofing isn't good, so I can't go all out. Wei Liao didn't know what to say when he saw Jiang Shaowei being so generous. I have my own private villa, and I've always lived by myself. If you don't mind, you can move in with me. Wei Liao took the initiative to invite him. I'll think about it. Jiang Shaowei nodded. Then, the two of them went to the Jiang family. Wei Liao was a very good person. He instructed his subordinates to take out a treasured tea set from his villa and give it to Mr. Jiang. She also asked someone to buy a top-grade scarf and bird's nest for Mother Jiang. The Jiang family treated him very warmly. After all, he had sincerely saved the day. But on the other side, the Wei family exploded. Wei family mansion, what? How come I don't know that my son is engaged to someone? Father Wei's temper flared. Is this a joke? Mother Wei had just returned from Thailand. She was quite surprised to hear that her son was engaged. It's not a joke, my second brother is engaged. Who would joke about such a big thing? Wei Ying, the third son of the Wei family, sat on the sofa and ate some fruit as she spoke. What the hell? Hurry up and call that bastard and tell him to come back. Father Wei was furious. I did, but his phone was turned off, Wei Ying said as she took a bite of the apple. Preposterous. While Wei Liao was having a heartwarming dinner at the Jiang family's house, the Wei family was in chaos. Huamin drove to GK headquarters. It was still early, and he heard that there was an indoor shoot for celebrities. Huamin went over to join in the fun. The set was a mess. Mo Shui and Ni Yang, the superstar duo, were going to appear on the cover of Livy. Livy was the most influential fashion magazine in Asia. GK Film and Television placed a lot of importance on this, so they were not satisfied even after a whole day of shooting. When Huamin walked in, the director of the magazine thought she was doing odd jobs. So he ordered, "Go and get me a bottle of water, I'm thirsty." Huamin looked around but didn't see any water. In the end, she had no choice but to take out an unopened bottle of Evian from her bag and handed it to him. The man took a sip and was a bit surprised. Wow, GK is amazing. Even the lowly workers are drinking Evian. Then, everyone turned around and greeted Huamin when they saw her. Hello, a young lady. A young lady? Is she? The director of the magazine was dumbfounded. Director Wang, you probably haven't met her yet, but this is President Qin's wife. Sister Ingzi walked over and introduced her. The director's eyes widened, and his mouth formed an O. Chapter 712. Hello, I'm Huamin. Hello, a young lady, I'm Wang Lin, the deputy director of Livy Fashion Magazine. The man didn't dare to be arrogant anymore and almost dropped the Evian in his hand. Sister Huamin? And Yang walked over when he saw Huamin. The photographer glanced at them and said, "Let's take a 5-minute break, thank you for your hard work." "How did the shoot go?" "I'm not satisfied, I didn't get the feeling." And Yang shrugged. Huamin looked at Mo Shui, who was resting on the side. "Shui, thank you for your hard work." "It's fine." Mo Shui was a little cold and rarely talked to people. However, she didn't have a bad temper and wouldn't throw a tantrum or give newcomers a hard time. Therefore, she had a good reputation. Ever since they signed with GK, their every move had been scrutinized. Everyone was waiting to see what GK's next move would be. After all, Imperial Star released 2 movies this month and both grossed over $1 billion at the box office. Jian Tong became the most popular actress of the year. On the other hand, Annie Liang, who signed with GK, stayed abroad for a while because of the negative rumors surrounding her. Apparently, she only came back a few days ago and hadn't shown her face yet. Huamin didn't know her either. Huamin chatted with Yang for a while and then with Mo Shui. Then, they walked over to the photographer and looked at the photos they just took. "A young lady, what do you think?" Director Wang asked. "Something doesn't feel right." "See, I was right. I'm not trying to pick on you, but even a young lady said that something doesn't feel right," Director Wang said. Everyone was a little listless. Sister Xianxia walked over and said in a low voice, "Young madam, we've been taking photos for the whole day. We've even had to apply and remove makeup 5 or 6 times. We've taken thousands of photos. Let's call it a day. Everyone, let's call it a day." "That won't do. We have to start the production of the film the day after tomorrow." Director Wang seemed to disagree. "Everyone is very tired. If we continue to work overtime at this time, we won't be in a good state. We'll start production the day after tomorrow, so there's still time, right? We'll finish the shoot tomorrow," Huamin explained. "A young lady, it's not as simple as you make it out to be. What if we don't do well tomorrow? Don't worry about that. There will definitely be a way tomorrow. Everyone, get off work." Huamin saw that Yang and Mo Shui looked exhausted, so he didn't want to make things difficult for them. He clapped his hands to signal everyone to get off work. At a young lady's command, everyone was instantly energized. Afterwards, Huamin looked at the person in charge of film and television. "Ningjia, why don't you take everyone out for a meal? We'll eat, sing, and have a sauna. You can reimburse us later. I'll talk to President Qin." "Thank you, a young lady." Sister Ning was a capable woman in her 40s. She was a professional manager. He was promoted from within the company and used to be the manager of the administrative department. She was very capable, and Qin Chu seemed to value her a lot. As for Shui and Yang, they have special identities, so they probably won't be able to attend the meal. Help them book a table at Imperial View Western Restaurant, and then book a suite for them at the Ritz-Carlton for them to rest. We'll continue filming tomorrow. "Thank you, a young lady." Sister Xianxia was overjoyed to see how generous Huamin was. "Mr. Rich, let's be friends." And Yang half-jokingly looked at Huamin. Huamin patted his shoulder lovingly. "Hurry up and take off your makeup and get some rest. We still have to continue tomorrow." After everyone finished their work, Huamin looked at Director Wang and said, "Director Wang, please wait. Is there anything else? A young lady." Chapter 713. I want to talk to you about those photos. It's not that I'm looking down on you, a young lady. You're not in our field, so I don't think it's going to work. Director Wang was a serious person, so she didn't trust Huamin's judgment. "Why don't you listen to me? If I'm wrong, you can point it out. If I'm right, I can give you a suggestion." "Okay then." Director Wang sat down in front of the computer, half believing and half doubting. Huamin walked over and pointed at a set of photos. I've looked at these photos carefully, and I'm sure you have the same feeling as me. The photos are well taken, the lighting is good, the angles are good, and the expressions and movements are just right. But why do they still feel out of place? Yes, that's why I've been struggling. I've looked at these photos, and at first I was just as conflicted as you. But then, I quickly realized that the problem wasn't the problem itself. If there's nothing wrong with the technique, then it must be the people. The people? Director Wang was a bit confused. Huamin nodded and continued, Shui debuted early, and she has a strong aura. She's like a domineering older sister. Yang debuted later, and he's an idol. In modern terms, he's a little fresh meat. Although they're about the same age, their auras don't match. You don't say, that's really the case. After being reminded by Huamin, Director Wang carefully looked through the photos. Although the clothes, movements, and makeup in each photo matched, their auras didn't match. It was like an unreliable older sister dating younger brother. A young lady, you've woken me up, but how do we solve this problem? We can't replace them, right? That's right, replace them. But GK doesn't have anyone more famous than them right now. Plus, it'll be hard to explain to the public if we replace them. That's easy. You can arrange for them to be partners. Find 2 top male and female models in the industry to pair up with Yang and Shui, respectively. Of course, you can't choose blindly. For example, if Shui is a domineering woman, you'd better find an older, mature male model. If Yang is a good-looking idol, you'd better find a sweet female model. Director Wang gave her a thumbs up. A young lady is right. That's how it is. If you knew it would be so simple, you would have come here earlier to give us some pointers. We wouldn't have had to think so hard. Yang and Shui are going to kill me. I've taken thousands of photos today. I'm really tired of everyone. Just do as I say. Bring some people here tomorrow morning and start shooting. I'm sure you'll be able to make it in time for the production the day after tomorrow. Then, publish them in 2 separate issues of the magazine. That way, we can promote GK more. Huamin had his own reasons for doing all of this. Not only did it solve the problem, but it also helped GK get 2 consecutive magazine covers. Wasn't that the best of both worlds? A young lady, you're so smart. No wonder President Qin likes you. I'm truly impressed. You're good at doing business. Huamin chuckled. What are you so happy about? A familiar voice sounded from behind him. Huamin turned around to see Qin Chu standing at the door. President Qin. Director Wang immediately stood up, as if he respected Qin Chu very much. Is my wife here to cause trouble? Qin Chu said as he walked in and wrapped his arm around Huamin's waist with a smile. Chapter 714. Director Wang quickly waved his hands. No, a young lady not only didn't cause any trouble, but she also gave me a great idea. Of course, she also gave GK a chance to be on the cover. What a smart woman. As the director of Livy, Director Wang had seen all kinds of women over the years. So far, Huamian was the only one who could make him look at her differently with just a few words. This woman was extraordinarily smart. She thought about everything and considered everyone's feelings. It was said that behind a successful man, there must be a shrewd woman. This was not a lie at all. With a couple like this running GK, it would be hard for GK not to grow. You must be hungry. Let's go eat. After Qin Chu finished his work, he heard from Yang that a young lady was here at the studio. He packed up and came over. Honey, let's take a picture. All the top photographers are here. Qin Chu was a bit surprised. We haven't had the chance to take wedding photos since we got married. This is a rare opportunity. Before Qin Chu could say anything, Huamin grabbed his hand and dragged him to the set. Then he gestured in OK to Director Wang. Director Wang understood and immediately arranged for a photographer to take a few pictures of Qin Chu and Huamin. There were only 3 sets, but each one was perfect. Huamin took out his phone and carefully took a picture of them on the computer. Then he happily walked out with Qin Chu. If I knew you were so happy taking pictures, I would have arranged it earlier. Honey, I'm sorry. Qin Chu felt a lot of guilt. Back then, he married Huamin so suddenly. There was no wedding, no honeymoon, and no photos. Now that he thought about it, he really owed his wife. What are you talking about? I don't care about that. I just thought it was a rare opportunity. You don't even know how good Livy's photographers are. Look at this light, it's 100 times better than a beauty camera. Ha. Huamian looked at the photo from left to right like a child. Qin Chu followed behind her, his heart filled with warmth. Even if he was busy every day, when he saw his beloved wife in front of him, he would feel that everything was just fleeting clouds. Hubby, what are we going to eat? I'll listen to you. How about spicy hot pot? I like spicy food a lot these days. All right. After that, Qin Chu drove Huamin to a high-end hot pot restaurant. It was opened by an inner Mongolian. The beef and mutton were especially fresh and tender, and the environment was also very good. The two of them sat by the window on the second floor, eating with relish. Suddenly, a woman's voice interrupted them. Chairman Qin, what a coincidence. Mr. Qin raised his head and saw Annie Liang in a tight black miniskirt. Her long hair was let down, and she was wearing sunglasses. She even had red lipstick on. Huamin also raised his head to take a look, but he didn't recognize him immediately. It wasn't until Annie Liang took off her sunglasses that he realized who it was. President Qin. I came back yesterday. Can you give me some work to do? I'm so bored at home. That was arranged by the person in charge of film and television. It's not under my control. Qin Chu's voice was very calm. He looked down and continued to pick up shrimp sliders from the hot pot for Huamin. Annie Liang pouted and said coquettishly, President Qin, don't be like this. That woman Jiang Linyue tricked me into coming here, and now she's gone. No one cares about me. I came to GK because of you, but I betrayed Imperial Star and suffered so much public pressure. Now that I'm here, you can't leave me out. I won't, don't worry, GK will give every artist a chance. Huamin couldn't help but reply when she saw that Qin Chu didn't seem to want to talk to Annie Liang. However, Annie Liang completely ignored Huamin and looked at Qin Chu again. With tears in her eyes, she said, President Qin, I heard that Ni Yang and Mo Shui are both going to be on Livy. Why can't I be on the show? You're being too biased. I'm just as pretty as Mo Shui. Oh, you can't be so cruel to me. Chapter 7:15. There's too much bad news about you, so you should lay low for a while. The company won't mistreat you, Qin Chu said faintly. President Qin, those rumors are fake, they're just smearing my reputation. Those women at Imperial Star hate me, so they hired people to smear me. It's not true, you have to believe me. I'm sorry, this is private time, let's not talk about work. Qin Chu couldn't take it anymore and directly rejected Annie Liang's words. Annie Liang glanced at Huamin, then turned around and left. She didn't forget to mumble quietly, I thought the president had good taste, but it seems like he's not that good. Upon hearing this, Qin Chu furrowed his brows. He took out his phone and was about to make a call when Huamin immediately reached out and stopped him. Honey, forget it. You know what I want to do? You want to freeze Annie Liang. Of course, Huamin knew what Qin Chu wanted to do. He would protect her, and no one would be able to bully her. Huamin heard what Annie Liang said, and so did Qin Chu. People like her should be frozen. We spent a lot of money to buy her. If we freeze her, our money would be wasted. Impulsiveness is the devil. Huamin didn't care what other people said about her. As long as it didn't cross her bottom line, she would tolerate it. Plus, Annie Liang was signed by GK for 90 million yuan when they were fighting with Su Yu. If they just froze her, it would be a huge loss. Honey, aren't you jealous of how cheap she was just now? Qin Chu looked at Huamin with admiration. What's there to be jealous of? A lot of actresses are like that. People in the entertainment industry aren't simple. If I had such a fragile heart, I would have jumped off a building a long time ago. So you don't love me anymore? Qin Chu pretended to be depressed. No. Then if you love me, can you take the initiative tonight? Here we go again. Mr. Qin, Can you stop setting traps for your wife? Min felt that he had to be careful when talking to Qin Chu in the future, because he could set a trap for him at any time. By the time the two of them finished their hot pot, it was already late. Hubby, let's go watch a movie. Are there any good films recently? Yes, I want to watch, so you're here too, Min said slowly from the front passenger seat. Okay, you can watch whatever you want. The two of them went to the movie theater. To their surprise, Min didn't book the entire theater. Instead, the two of them sat quietly in the last row. It was dark, and there were quite a lot of people. Both the male and female leads were very pleasing to the eye. In fact, what Min was watching was not a movie, but youth. Min had read this novel a few years ago. It was a story similar to theirs. Su Yunjin and Qing Zheng were also high school classmates. Later, they fell in love with each other, then separated and finally got back together. People said that the feelings in elementary school were childish, the feelings in middle school were ignorant, and the feelings in high school were pure love. It was because at that time, people were mature and had their own outlook on life, values, and the world. Once you decided on someone you liked, you really liked that person. It didn't involve any fake or other factors. It wouldn't change because of material things. After entering college, many people would look at their boyfriend's family background. Did he have an RV? Was his father Li Gang? When looking for a girlfriend, people would look at her appearance, clothes, and bust size. What a realistic society. Min felt lucky that he met Qin Chu in high school, when they were young and inexperienced. It was an era when people would get married if they held hands, but now it was an era where nothing would happen even if they slept together. It had only been 7 years. It seemed that the world was changing. Many things couldn't go back. The only thing that didn't change was their past, all the good things in those years. On the way back, Min fell asleep in the front passenger seat. Qin Chu received a call from Rick. Qin, is it convenient to talk? I have something important to tell you. Rick's tone was serious. Tell me now. Qin Chu put on his earphones. Chapter 716. The incident in Dong Tao Town that you've been asking me to investigate, how is it? Are there any results? Qin Chu was a bit anxious. This was the only thing he cared about the most, because it was Min's wish. Min's biggest wish right now was to find his biological parents. It's very complicated, I don't know how to explain it to you. Rick's tone was heavy. It's fine, go ahead. If it's possible, I suggest that you stop investigating it. Qin Chu was a bit doubtful. He knew Rick's ability, and he wouldn't say something that he wasn't confident in. Because none of the people I sent to investigate this incident came back. They're all dead? I don't know if they're dead or not, but I can't contact them. But you know what we're doing, once we lose contact, we're doomed. How could that be? Qin Chu frowned slightly. Min's background was far more complicated than he thought. Ever since he went to Dong Tao Town and witnessed Uncle Yang's death, he knew that things weren't as simple as they seemed. But he didn't expect things to be so complicated. It was just a nameless town. What kind of terrifying mastermind was behind it? Even though I didn't find any useful clues, I can tell you that Dong Tao Town isn't as simple as it seems. There are a lot of spies there, and anyone who tries to investigate will be found out by the mastermind behind it. We're in the open, and the mastermind is in the dark, so we're in danger. Also, I don't think there's just one mastermind behind this, there's probably someone else involved. Anyways, the water is very deep. I've contacted the local boss, and we're quite close. He told me that the incident in Dong Tao Town has become a supernatural incident, and the mastermind behind it is even more powerful than a ghost. He told me to give up. How could that be? So I'm thinking that your wife's background might be very troublesome. Even if we find her, it might not be a good thing, so we might as well give up. Alright, I understand. Lin Fan nodded. But it's fine, if you want to continue investigating, I'll continue to help you. Rick didn't tell Qin Chu that he had already lost 9 people to investigate this incident. But Qin Chu was so smart. Judging from his tone, it was impossible for him not to know. Even someone as powerful as Rick had died there. Looks like Dong Tao Town isn't that simple after all. Are there really ghosts in this world? Of course not. Sometimes humans are scarier than ghosts. Conspiracies were even more creepy than supernatural occurrences. Qin Chu hung up the phone with a heavy heart. This matter seemed to be extremely dangerous, but he could not give up. She had to find Huamin's family at all costs. He loved her so much that he was willing to fulfill all her dreams in this world. Just like that young man who stood on the podium and told everyone that his dream was to fulfill Huamin's dream. What others thought was a joke was actually Qin Chu's lifelong promise to Huamin. Mian, don't worry. No matter how dangerous it is, I won't give up on finding your biological parents. Huamin's closed eyelashes fluttered slightly. She wasn't asleep. She heard Qin Chu and Rick's conversation on the phone. Although she couldn't hear what Rick said, from Qin Chu's conversation, she could tell that something had happened in Dong Tao Town. Huamin wasn't stupid. She knew that Dong Tao Town wasn't a simple town. But even so, Qin Chu was still willing to investigate for her. She couldn't help but be moved. The next morning, at GK headquarters, Yang held a large stack of bills. Sir, this is the bill from yesterday's movie and TV company. Please sign it. 80,000 yuan? Drink and play? Eat, sing and go to the sauna? Who gave them the guts to ask the company for reimbursement? Qin Chu was furious. President Ning said that a young lady approved it. Yang was also very nervous. When he received the bill, he had been wondering if the president would approve it. Chapter 717. My wife. Qin Chu froze slightly. Assistant Yang nodded and repeated President Ning's words to him. Qin Chu knew that no matter how brave Ning Dan was, she wouldn't dare to impersonate his wife and cheat him out of 80,000 yuan. Therefore, Qin Chu quietly picked up his pen, waved his hand, and signed. Once again, Assistant Yang understood how important a young lady was to the president. How capricious. A young lady, with one sentence, made the people at film and television spend 80,000 yuan on a night of entertainment. Then, the CFO came in with a receipt. Sir, this is from Ni Yang's manager and Mo Shui's manager. They said that a young lady promised them dinner and a place to stay last night. Qin Chu took the receipt and saw that it was another 100,000 yuan. He didn't say anything and signed without hesitation. His husband seemed to be a professional at cheating his husband. He was so generous to his employees. After everyone left, Qin Chu took out his phone and video called Huamin. Huamin had just changed into his white lab coat and was about to do his ward rounds. Hello, Mr. Qin. Honey, you're so generous. Because of your permission last night, I just signed a 180,000 yuan expense receipt. 180,000. That's a lot. These people are such scammers. That's why I'm going to deduct it from your allowance this month. I don't think so. I'm doing this for the good of the company. Water can carry a boat, but it can also sink it. You have to understand that. I only know that water can carry a boat, but it can also cook porridge, Qin Chu said in all seriousness. Honey, don't make me laugh so early in the morning. Okay, I have to go do my ward rounds. After speaking, Huamin quickly hung up. Then, Qin Chu received a WeChat red packet. If he remembered correctly, this was the first time that his wife sent him a red packet. Although it was only 52. 1 yuan, what she said was heartwarming. Honey, I love you. 180,000 yuan is nothing. But using your 50 yuan to settle 180,000, my wife, you're really smart. After checking the rooms, Huamin prepared to organize the database. Suddenly, there was a knock on the office door. Please come in. Why are you here? Huamin raised his head and panicked when he saw who it was. Wasn't this person Su Yu's mother? The first lady of Sea City was said to have a higher status than the mayor's wife. Miss, do you have time to chat? Oh, please take a seat. Huamin didn't know what to do. He got up and poured a cup of tea for Lady Su. Thank you. Auntie, what can I do for you? Huamin was a little nervous. Because of Lady Qin's precedent, Huamin was a little afraid of his elders, especially his mother's generation. Don't be scared, I was just passing by. Alright, I bought you some snacks. Then, Lady Su handed him a lunchbox. Huamin glanced at it and saw that it was full of exquisite pastries. Auntie, if you have something to say, just say it. It's really nothing, I just came to check on you. Auntie, Su, you and I really aren't? Huamin anxiously explained. I know you're married, not bad at all. You're the young president of GK. Lady Su smiled. You know about it? Yeah, I didn't know at first, but after I went back, I accidentally saw some news and found out. Oh. He didn't need to say it, since Lady Su already knew he should be fine. Is it hard to work at the hospital? It's not hard, I'm used to it. It's good, in fact, some people only like glamorous jobs that make a lot of money. But if you like your career and your value is reflected, you'll do better. Thank you for the compliment, Auntie. Huamin still wasn't used to it. After all, when Suyu was hospitalized, Lady Su got angry once and scared all the nurses out of room 1. Therefore, in front of Lady Su, who was as gentle as water, Huamin didn't dare to slight her. Miss, you seem to be afraid of me? Lady Su asked with a smile. Chapter 7:18. I'm traumatized by my mother's generation. Huamin spoke the truth. Lady Su giggled. You're such an honest girl, I can't believe you said something like that. No wonder you likes you so much. Lady Su's straightforward words made Huamin blush. Although the whole world knew that Suyu liked her, it was still weird for Suyu's mother to say it out loud. He is the only son of the Su family. Our whole family loves him, especially his grandfather. But he's very strong-willed and has always worked hard. He never told me about the hardships he went through in the military. My son knows himself. Although he started a company after he was discharged and it's a little ridiculous, he's still a very serious child. Over the years, he's had a lot of girls around him, but he's never brought them home, nor has he ever mentioned them to me. But he's already mentioned it to me twice. Auntie Su, let me finish. Lady Su looked at Huamin kindly. She continued, I know that you came into this world late. No matter how much he likes you, you're already married. He's not the right person, what people call a homewrecker. But there's no right or wrong in love. There's nothing wrong with liking someone wholeheartedly. Plus, he didn't do anything to break up your family, right? No, he never did. Huamin nodded and spoke the truth. She didn't know that before Huamin got married, Suyu even gave him a sports car and roses in a very high-profile manner, but ever since he found out that Huamin was married, Suyu buried his feelings deep in his heart so that he wouldn't cause trouble for Huamin. In the dead of the night, he would rather lick his wounds. He didn't want to disturb Huamin even a little bit. This was indeed very difficult for the arrogant young master. So, as a mother, my heart aches when I see you suppressing himself for this relationship. But I also know that you already have a happy family. He really shouldn't be like that. Huamin remained silent. Lady Su seemed to be a very reasonable person. What she said was very reasonable and very realistic. As for why I came today, I just wanted to see you. I believe that the girl that you likes must be the best girl in the world. Don't feel burdened. If you need any help from the Su family in the future, just come to me. Lady Su patted Huamin's hand. Thank you, Auntie. It's okay. Eat it while it's hot. These snacks are freshly made. I'll leave first. Lady Su really didn't say anything. She just wanted to see what kind of person her son really liked. She had also seen the news and the posts about Huamin. However, she only believed in what she felt. Although Huamin looked stunning, he had a lot of inner qualities. The work he did was unremarkable, but he worked very hard. Her words and actions were not elegant enough, but she was generous and appropriate. She trusted her son's judgment. Unfortunately, she already had a husband and a family. To be honest, Huamin didn't feel very good about Lady Su's visit. If only Qin Chu's mother was so gentle, then he wouldn't have put Qin Chu in such a difficult position. People outside said that Lady Qin was a daughter-in-law who sowed discord, and others said that Lady Qin was a heartless mother-in-law. In short, everyone knew that the relationship between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law had deteriorated. Thinking about it, Qin Chu hadn't been home for many days because of protecting him. Huamin still felt quite bad. Head nurse, President Wu is here. He wants to see you. The young nurse knocked on the door and reminded her. Okay. Huamin didn't have time to eat. He got up and walked towards the top floor. Chapter 719. When Huamin went up, she thought that President Wu would be alone. However, she saw that there were more than 20 people in the conference room. Other than the people from the hospital, there were also many famous directors from the first hospital. It was a huge scene. Was he going to impeach her? Huamin was a little nervous. Was she going to be fired? No, she liked this job very much. The most surprising thing was that Hua Xiqian was also there. He was the boss of the Hua Foundation and the financier of the hospital. Therefore, he would still participate in most of the major events at Southside, provided that he had the time and was willing to come. President Wu. Huamin was dumbfounded when she entered. Looking at the dazzling group of elders, she felt that something big was going to happen this time. This was because the hospital would only send out such a large group of people when there was a big announcement. Take a seat, Huamin. President Wu nodded and gestured for her to sit in the only empty seat. Huamin nodded and walked over. Hua Xiqian was twirling a pen in his hand. When he saw Huamin, he smiled. A lot has happened at the hospital recently. I just came back from the United States to deal with some personal matters. I'm sorry that I didn't deal with it in time and caused everyone to be implicated. President Wu said solemnly. Huamin thought that President Wu must have helped Wu Xiaoxue immigrate. After all, it was the whole family's migration this time. President Wu actually doted on his niece. Speaking of which, otherwise, he wouldn't have called her in the middle of the night and personally asked her to save Wu Xiaoxue and the child. More and more patients are coming to Southside because of the hospital's reputation, and we're doing well. Second, the incident of Deputy Director Gua and Director Qi being interrogated has passed, so let's not talk about it in private anymore. The new deputy director will report in next week. He's a manager I hired from another city, and I believe he'll do a good job at Southside. Third, and the core of today's meeting, it's about Comrade Huamian. Principal, I'll work hard. You're not going to fire me, are you? Huamin could no longer remain calm and stood up. Everyone chuckled. Everyone seemed to know something except for her. Little sister Mian, I didn't know you could be so anxious. Hua Xiqian laughed at her cuteness. If you were fired, you wouldn't be calm either, Huamin retorted. President Wu smiled and said, sit down first. I'm not firing you. Are you going to demote me? It's okay. It's fine if I don't become the head nurse. Huamin wondered if he was going to be punished because of Ni Yang's incident, or if the dean was going to be angry because he had taken too many days off recently. Neither. Listen to me. President Wu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. It seemed that Huamin really liked the South Side. After some discussion, the higher-ups and the director decided that Huamin, you're no longer suitable to be the head nurse. So they're going to make an example out of me, Huamin mumbled in a small voice. With your current level of professionalism and personal ability, you're qualified to be a doctor. Doctor? Huamin was slightly surprised. This was a dream that he didn't even dare to dream of. Because he studied nursing in college, he had no chance of becoming a doctor, but since you don't have a medical certificate, we've jointly requested that the higher-ups arrange an exam for you. Exam? What exam? Upon hearing President Wu's words, Huamin was a little confused. Chapter 720. That's right, as long as you pass the exam, you'll be able to get your medical license. That way, people won't gossip about you when you treat patients. I know you're very low-key and don't want to get into trouble, but I hope you can make a careful decision this time. Southside also needs doctors, and if you have greater value, why don't you show it? Young people should still have dreams. I believe that with your qualifications, you'll become the best doctor. After President Wu finished speaking, The other doctors also chimed in. Director Li from the neurology department said, Huamin, we support you, and we hope you respect yourself. Director Li, I'm afraid I can't. Huamin's eyes glistened with tears. She never thought that one day, so many people would be busy with her medical career. What did Huamin do to deserve the protection of so many doctors and the director? How much face did he have? Little sister Mian, being a doctor has been your dream since you were young, and now you're about to realize it? God's gift to you has arrived, just a few years late. Huasiqian looked at her with a smile on his face. When President Wu told him about it, he immediately agreed and even took the time to come over. So what do I have to do now? Huamin was a little excited. So you can choose a department? Because you'll have to choose your specialization during the exam. Once you choose, you can't change it. You're free to choose whichever department you want to go to. Of course, after some discussion, we decided that these are your specialties. There's OB/GYN, neurology, brain surgery, and ophthalmology. Huamin was so excited that she couldn't speak. President Wu had done his homework. OB/GYN was the department she interned in, and brain surgery was the department she secretly studied during her university days. Neurology was her hobby, and she learned it for fun. However, Director Li liked her very much. She even gave her Ni Yang's medical records. As for ophthalmology, although she didn't have much experience with it, she did write Ning Ziyuan's thesis. She knew a little about it. Huamin, I hope that you can come to the neurology department. I really need an excellent assistant like you. Chief Li could not hold himself back. Director Li, you're already trying to recruit people? That's too fast. Huamin, come to the OB/GYN department. There are too many pregnant women who have cesarean sections every day. After you come, we'll focus on natural birth. We can work together to develop a water birth that imitates the Americans. What do you think? The director of the OB/GYN department said with a smile. Before Huamin could say anything, the ophthalmology department started to snatch people away again. Huamin, I heard that you were the one who wrote Ning Ziyuan's thesis. You are too talented. Ophthalmology is very simple. We only need to study the structure of the eyeball, and we can help countless patients see again. Ning Ziyuan has already left the hospital. Welcome to the ophthalmology department, the male ophthalmologist said. Huamin is the head nurse of the orthopedics department, okay? She knows a lot about the orthopedics department, so we have to keep her as our trump card. No, neurosurgery is the center of attention in the country. If you want to be a successful doctor, you have to choose neurosurgery. The department heads were all arguing. Huamin's brain was about to turn to mush. Huamin, what do you think? President Wu looked at her and asked. Director, my brain is in a mess. There's no rush. Go back and think about it. When you're done, fill out the form and send it to me. I'll arrange for you to take the exam soon. President Wu, don't say that you can't do it. We believe in our professional judgment. Huamin, you can do it. When you pass the exam, I'll celebrate for you, Huasiqian interjected with a pen in her mouth. Huamin's head was still spinning when she walked out of the conference room. She felt like she was dreaming. Am I really going to be a doctor? Huamin muttered to herself. She couldn't contain the joy in her heart. She picked up her phone and sent Qin a WeChat message. Honey, I have good news to announce. Are you pregnant? Qin replied immediately. Chapter 721. I'm not pregnant. Huamin didn't think that Qin would think in that direction. It seemed like he desperately wanted a baby as well, even though he didn't say it out loud. Then what's the good news? Qin pleasant voice sounded from WeChat. President Wu brought a lot of people to a meeting today. His goal is to recommend me to take the exam so that I can become a doctor. What about you? Do you want to? Qin was more concerned about Huamin's thoughts. To be honest, I do. That's great. Go ahead, I'll always support your decision. Qin tone was filled with joy. His wife shouldn't have become a nurse. What a waste of her talent. But I haven't thought about whether I can do it. You don't have to think about it, you can definitely do it. You have so much faith in me. Of course, Qin Chu's reply was still as arrogant as ever. Okay, with your words, I'm even more relieved. I don't have to worry about it anymore. I promised President Wu that I'll think about which major to apply to. After all, I'm interested in a few departments. Okay, Qin Chu replied with one word of affection. After hanging up, Huamin was in a great mood. She then sent a WeChat post, God's gift to you may be late, but it will never be absent. Sis, you're pregnant? Jing Jixin asked impatiently. I'm not dead yet, Huamin replied instantly. Girl, what's the good news? Why don't you share it with us? Zhu Lingling asked. I'm not telling you, it's a secret. Heath, stop pretending with me, hurry up and tell me. Zhu Lingling was impatient. You're not going to be a mother, are you? Gao Ran also became a gossiper. No, you're overthinking it. Huamin was speechless at Gao Ran's guess. Ni Yang silently gave him a like. I look forward to your decision, Huasiqian commented. He was the only one who knew the truth. The nurses in the hospital all gave Huamin a thumbs up. Although they didn't know what had happened, if he was called to a meeting by President Wu, there should be something good to announce, right? Head nurse, did you get promoted again? Yeah, you can say that. Oh yeah? Then you have to treat us all to dinner. Of course. Huamin was in a good mood. He replied to every WeChat message unhurriedly. After Huamin got off work, he immediately went to the supermarket to buy groceries. Since the weather had turned cold and both of them were carnivores, Huamin bought ingredients for hot pot. Then, she sat at home and sent messages on WeChat. The hot pot is ready. Everyone come quickly. You wait for me, I'm going to wash my hair. I'll be right there, Zhu Lingling replied instantly. By the way, are you at South Hill Manor or Imperial Park? I'm at Imperial Park. Huamin and Huasiqian only went to South Hill on the weekends. They usually stayed at Imperial Park. Hey, wait for me. Zhu Lingling was very happy. I'm going to get off work soon. Wait for me, Gao Ran replied as well. Qin Chu, on the other hand, didn't reply. Huamin was about to call him and ask when he would be back when he heard the sound of a key unlocking the door. Huamin immediately ran to the door. Honey, you're home early today, Huamin said with a smile. Because we have something good to celebrate today. Qin Chu came home early with 2 bottles of red wine in his hands. You went back to South Hill? Yeah, I got them from the wine cellar. So today is a special day for me to drink some wine? Huamin asked excitedly. No, the 3 of us will drink. You can drink milk. Huamin was speechless. She immediately pouted. Mr. Qin was so heartless. Chapter 722. Seeing the scary side of Huamin, Qin Chu couldn't help but pinch her cheeks and chuckle. I'm just kidding. Since you're so happy today, you can drink. But long live Mr. Qin. Huamin was as happy as a child. Then she planted a kiss on Qin Chu's cheek. It was an earth-shattering kiss. She happily took the red wine and carefully soaked it in the ice bucket in the kitchen. Other than beef and lamb rolls, there were also a lot of vegetables, fish balls, crab sticks, mushroom balls, beef tendons, and seafood on the table. Huamin really went all out. It was a sumptuous feast for everyone. The couple busied themselves until Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling arrived. They could eat as soon as they walked in. Zhu Lingling walked in with a bouquet of sunflowers in her hands. The colors were extremely beautiful. Are these for me? Huamin smiled. Yeah, don't you love sunflowers? Zhu Lingling handed the sunflowers to him. I can't believe you like sunflowers. You're so weird. Gao Ran picked up a piece of ham from the plate and put it in his mouth. She's liked sunflowers since she was in school. I heard that sunflowers represent silent love, unspoken love. I wonder if you haven't confessed to Mr. Qin yet. Zhu Lingling smirked. Actually, I like sunflowers not only because they're pretty, but also because they're edible. Huamin remembered that the female lead of a movie once said something funny. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling were both shocked. Just then, Qin Chu walked over and placed a hand on Huamin's shoulder. He said dotingly, sunflowers also represent the love for life and dreams. They represent the spirit of never giving up. Mr. Qin, you know me the best. Huamin shyly looked at her husband, and the two of them looked at each other affectionately. Can the two of you not start abusing PDA mode? Can you tell us what the good news is first? Gao Ran couldn't stand it anymore. He found a seat and sat down. Then he ate and talked at the same time. His mouth didn't stop for a moment. Wife, you announce it yourself. Qin Chu held her hand. Huamin carefully inserted the sunflower into the glass vase in the living room, and he turned around and looked at the other three with a smile. I announce, I will be taking the exam in a few days. Exam? Driver's license? That's not right. Don't you have one? Gao Ran didn't understand. What exam? Are you going to be a professional manager? You want to join GK to help Mr. Qin? Zhu Lingling asked in surprise. Huamin shook his head. Neither. This time, I'm taking the exam for a professional doctor's license. Holy shit! You're going to be a doctor? Zhu Lingling exclaimed. That exam isn't for this season. Isn't it in March every year? Are you sure you asked? Gao Ran seemed to know a lot. President Wu and all the directors of our hospital jointly reported it, and the higher-ups approved it. I'll be able to take the exam in about a week. Then, are you really going to fulfill your childhood dream? Zhu Lingling was a little excited. Back in high school, they sat next to each other. Huamin studied a lot of medical books. She knew that Huamin wanted to be a doctor more than anything else, because she never wanted to see her beloved family members leave this world because of the torment of illness. Now that so many years had passed and so many things had happened, Huamin didn't have a choice. Zhu Lingling didn't even dare to ask her about being a doctor, because she didn't want her to be sad. She didn't expect it to happen so suddenly, yet, just like what I said on my WeChat friend circle, God's gift to me is only late, but not absent. After so many years, she was finally able to realize her initial dream. Congratulations! Although doctors don't have a good reputation right now, I still respect them. I hope that Huamin can become the best doctor in the world. Honey, good luck. Qin Chu raised his glass. The four of them celebrated together. The atmosphere was great. What major do you want to take? Gao Ran asked the main question as he picked up some vegetables. Chapter 723. This is too sudden. President Wu made the announcement today and I didn't even have time to think about it. So you haven't thought about it yet? Which ones are you considering? Zhu Lingling asked. I've interned in the OB/GYN department. Orthopedics is the department I'm currently in charge of at Southside. Neurosurgery is the department I'm interested in. Neurology is a project I've been helping Director Li with. Ophthalmology, I've written a thesis on ophthalmology, but that was a long time ago. I'm not interested in ophthalmology right now, so I'll choose from the other four departments. That's a complicated feeling, but I think you should choose OB/GYN. Zhu Lingling smiled as she held onto her chopsticks. Because when I give birth, I can ask you to help me deliver the baby. Screw you, you're going to ruin my future for your own selfish reasons. Huamin laughed as well. I think orthopedics is good too. A while ago, I was playing soccer with someone from the bureau and injured my ligament. I went to the orthopedics department to register, but damn, there were so many people, it was so hard to get a number, and the orthopedics doctors were so arrogant. If you become an orthopedics doctor, I'll be more loyal to you in the future, huh? You're both thinking for yourselves, so I won't accept your suggestions. Huamin tilted his head and looked at Qin Chu. Mr. Qin, what do you think? Although I'm a neurosurgeon, I think you should choose neurology, Qin Chu said slowly. Because the incidence of neurology is very high, but it's not taken seriously by our people in China. In fact, depression and schizophrenia are not much better than cancer. These diseases seem to be fine on the surface, but they threaten the patient's reputation at all times. Children with autism are especially pitiful. Since you've chosen a department, of course, I hope you'll consider it thoroughly. It's not because we're great people, but at least it's meaningful. As soon as Qin Chu finished speaking, Gao Ran immediately gave him a thumbs up. Brilliant, as expected of GK's big boss, You're so well-rounded. Normal people like us can't compare. That's true. But these things are so professional that I'm confused. Anyway, girl, I'll support you no matter what you choose. In the future, I can proudly say that my best friend is a doctor, ha. Zhu Lingling laughed devilishly again. Huamin looked at Qin Chu, touched. His advice was always so sincere. That's fine. I'll think about it before making a decision. Anyway, I'm very happy. Thank you all for celebrating with me. The four of them raised their glasses again. During the banquet, Gao Ran suddenly thought of something and asked, "By the way, how's the 30-year anniversary going?" "Preparations are complete. It'll be held on time this Friday night," Qin Chu slowly said as he put down his wine glass. "I don't know where our director heard the news, but he said that you're going to invite Master Zhang Lanyu, a famous Peking opera actress. Oh my God, he's been asking me for an invitation every day. I'm speechless." "Yeah, there's no limit to the number of guests this time. We've prepared a big venue and a lot of food. So, you guys can bring some invitations and invite your friends and family." Qin Chu was extremely generous. "That's great. My parents are crazy about her too. That Peking opera master and my grandpa, they kept asking to come. So it's true, it wasn't just a rumor." Zhu Lingling laughed as well. Before Qin Chu could say anything, Huamin smiled and said, "For the 30-year anniversary celebration, we're going to do something similar to the Spring Festival Gala. Other than GK's own artists, we're also going to invite celebrities from all walks of life. Peking opera is a national treasure, so of course we have to have it. Many famous singers and movie stars will also come. Basically, it's going to be a grand celebration. I heard that the host is Jin Lan, and the male host, Yang Xiao. Is that true? Mr. Qin, is that true?" Zhu Lingling continued to gossip as she looked at Qin Chu. Chapter 724. Qin Chu nodded and didn't deny it. "Oh my God, how much money is this going to cost? Rich people can do whatever they want. You don't understand, they can earn back whatever they spend. This is an opportunity to pave the way for GK Film and Television. After the gala, GK Film and Television will become famous overnight. The profit margin will be limitless. Chu is a businessman, after all, he won't make a losing deal." Gao Ran's analysis was completely correct. Huamin and Qin Chu only smiled and didn't say anything. Zhu Lingling suddenly understood. "Oh right, why didn't I think of that? That's why I'm saying that you're the classic example of someone with long hair but short brains," Gao Ran mocked. Zhu Lingling immediately rolled her eyes and retorted, "I'm the one with long hair but short brains, what about you? Aren't your brains even shorter? You're simple-minded and thick-limbed, all men like you look like pigs. You're not much better than me. You're the classic example of someone with a thick waist, short legs, and a round face," Gao Ran retorted. "You?" Zhu Lingling was furious. "You're attacking him personally to cover up the fact that you two are having an affair, right?" Huamin snickered. "You two are in a love-hate relationship, right?" Qin Chu calmly looked at him and chatted. "Don't talk nonsense, who's in a love-hate relationship with him? I definitely don't love him, but I do want to kill him," Zhu Lingling explained. "That's why I'm saying that an evil woman like you will never get married. You should prepare to be an old lady for the rest of your life." "Fuck off, you're the old lady. If I can't get married, I'll climb up your window every day and haunt you. Sorry, my house is on the 26th floor. I'm afraid that a gust of wind might blow you down," Gao Ran said proudly. Every time they ate, the atmosphere would explode as long as these two clowns were around. The only good thing was that they never got mad no matter how much they bickered. Zhu Lingling was a rather thick-skinned girl. He wouldn't get angry over such a small matter, and he wasn't that thin-skinned. Therefore, they spent a lot of time together, and everyone was very happy. After that, Zhu Lingling posted a photo of them eating in the group chat. "Are you in Huamin's house?" someone asked. Goddess Hua looks better than before. I guess marrying Qin Chu was the right decision. Mr. Qin looks even more handsome now. He looks so stylish even when eating hot pot. Zhu Lingling, aren't you just showing off that you're friends with rich people? Do you have the guts to give us a red packet? There were all kinds of comments in the group chat, and Zhu Lingling couldn't be bothered with them. At this moment, someone suddenly hugged Zhu Lingling. She opened it and saw that it was Lu Xing. Lu Xing was Qin Chu's hardcore fan. She thought that Lu Xing would be furious. However, she wasn't. This time, Lu Xing only asked calmly, "Are you still at Huamin's house?" "Yeah." Zhu Lingling replied proudly. She didn't forget to add, "Huamin and Qin Chu invited me to eat hot pot." "Can you give me her phone number?" Lu Xing asked again. "Do you have something to say?" "Yeah, I have something to say." "What is it?" "Tell me." Zhu Lingling felt that Lu Xing definitely didn't have anything good to say to Huamin. "No, I want to talk to her personally. This woman is so pretentious. If she has something to say, she can just tell me. She wants to talk to me personally? Bitches are so pretentious," Zhu Lingling muttered to herself. "What's wrong, Lingling?" Huamin looked at her and asked. "Lu Xing asked me for your number and tagged me in the group chat. I don't know what she wants." "My number?" Huamin was slightly surprised. "I don't have time to talk to her." "Forget it, don't worry about her. Don't give it to her. I think she wants to talk to me about something at a time like this." Huamin thought that Lu Xing hadn't shown up in a long time, so she probably wanted to talk to him about something. Although she was Qin Chu's hardcore fan, they were married, and the whole world knew about it. She probably wouldn't bother him anymore, right? Zhu Lingling then sent Huamin's number to Lu Xing. A minute later, Lu Xing called back. Chapter 725. "Hey, Huamin? That's me. I'm Lu Xing. I know, what is it?" Huamin wasn't polite to Lu Xing, but she didn't distance herself from her either. "I have a favor to ask of you." "What is it?" Huamin was surprised that an arrogant woman like Lu Xing would ask her for a favor. She even wondered if Lu Xing was asking her to give Qin Chu to her. She couldn't do that. "I'm getting married next Tuesday at Wuxia Manor. Can you be my bridesmaid?" Why me?" Huamin was confused. Shouldn't her best friend be the bridesmaid? "Because I lost to you. I've been trying my best to prove to everyone that I'm better than you, but the truth is that I'm not. I used to think that I was prettier than you, richer than you, more educated than you, and my parents were better than yours, so I should have Qin Chu's love. But now, I realize that all I've been chasing was a ridiculous dream. I've let go of everything and am about to get married. I want you to be my bridesmaid because ever since we were in school, you've always been the main character, and I've always been a third-rate supporting actress. So, on my wedding day, I was wondering if you could let me be the main character and you be the supporting actress. I know your request is rude, but I still hope that you can come. It's time for us to settle our grudges after all these years." Huamin didn't say anything after hearing what Lu Xing said. Lu Xing was a very honest woman, and she spoke her mind. If she hated you, she would never pretend to like you. So, even if she overestimated herself at times, she was very honest. Even today, when she invited Huamin to be her bridesmaid, she didn't pretend to make up or anything like that. She didn't say how good their relationship was. Instead, she directly said, "Huamin, I want to be the main character for today, so can you be the supporting actress for today?" How sincere was this request? "Can I?" Lu Xing knew that the chances of success weren't high. Huamin was now a young lady of GK. She, on the other hand, was just the daughter of a small business. The difference was huge. Moreover, she had tried to intervene in the relationship between Huamin and Qin Chu. Huamin should hate her very much. However, to her surprise, Huamin said, "Next Tuesday? I'll be there on time." "Thank you." Lu Xing hung up after thanking him. Zhu Lingling immediately asked, "What's next Tuesday? You're not going to her wedding, are you?" "Not only the wedding, I promise to be her bridesmaid," Huamin said word by word. "Fuck, girl, are you out of your mind? Weddings cost money. You don't need to spend a single cent on someone like Lu Xing. All these years, she's been trying to ruin your relationship with Mr. Huamin." Zhu Lingling hated Lu Xing. She hated all women who tried to ruin Huamin's happiness. Who's Lu Xing? The woman who had a crush on Chu and fought with Huamin for 3 years? Gao Ran didn't remember this person because they weren't in the same class. That's right, it's that scheming, disgusting woman, Zhu Lingling said viciously. Qin Chu didn't say anything. Instead, he quietly looked at Huamin. He noticed the complicated look in her eyes. Lingling, to be honest, out of all my opponents, Lu Xing is the one that I hate the least. Or rather, she's not even my opponent, because she has no chance of winning. Now that she's retreating and choosing to get married, isn't that a good thing? Did you guys know? What she said just now moved me. Chapter 726. What did she say? Zhu Lingling was surprised. I've been the main character my whole life, and she's been a third-rate supporting actress her whole life. Now that she's married, she wants me to be the main character, and she wants me to be the supporting actress, so that we can put an end to our past. Damn, can't you tell? She's trying to make you look bad. Who do you think you are? If you can be her supporting actress, don't go. Don't talk to her. Lingling, I want to go. Lu Xing is a real person. She's only going to wear a wedding dress and be happy. This is the only thing she wants me to do, and it's not hard for me. Being a supporting actress isn't a big deal. Huamin smiled. Mr. Qin, you have to control your Huamin, she's crazy, Zhu Lingling yelled. I respect her decision. Qin Chu never gave Huamin a hard time, and he always respected her decision. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling didn't say anything else after seeing that the couple had made up their minds. After this topic, they continued to eat hot pot, and then the four of them sat on the sofa in the living room to play cards. They were having a lot of fun. In the end, Zhu Lingling won a few thousand yuan. She was in a great mood and insisted on inviting them to karaoke. Helpless, Huamin was sleepy, so she didn't go. In the end, Gao Ran took Zhu Lingling out of Imperial Park. Qin Chu carried the sleepy Huamin upstairs. Huamin sleepily changed into her nightgown, and just as she lay down, Qin Chu pressed himself on top of her. Then he kissed her softly. Huamin didn't know if it was because of the alcohol or because she was too sleepy, but she felt like she was half asleep. She felt like her brain wasn't very clear. Qin Chu kissed her slowly, from her neck to her collarbone, and then down. Honey, I'm so tired. It's okay. You don't have to be up there today. I'll do it. Qin Chu smiled gently. At this moment, Huamin suddenly opened his eyes and exclaimed, What's wrong? Honey? Honey. Which one? That seems to be coming. Huamin wanted to cry but had no tears. Just as he was enjoying it in a daze, a warm feeling flowed out from below. This feeling immediately woke her up. Qin Chu was sweating profusely. Then he got up reluctantly. Huamin sat up and turned around. Sure enough, the golden bedsheet was stained with a touch of red. Huamin grumbled in a low voice. Auntie, why did you have to come at this time? You did it on purpose, didn't you? Honey, you go and do it. I'll change the sheets. Okay. After Huamin put on a sanitary pad, washed his underwear, and took a hot shower, when he came back, Qin Chu had already changed into a light purple bedsheet. It was beautiful. Where's the dirty one? Give it to me and I'll wash it. I threw it away. Huamin was speechless. Honey, you're such a spendthrift. How could he just throw away a bedsheet that was worth a few thousand yuan? What else can I do? Do you think I'll let you wash it? Qin Chu didn't want Huamin to wash it in the middle of the night when Auntie Flo came. But you always have your reasons. Huamin climbed onto the bed and crawled under the covers. Qin Chu got up and walked out. Soon he came back with a bowl of brown sugar ginger water. Honey, drink this before you sleep. Honey, I'm going to be Lu Xing's bridesmaid. Do you think I'm a saint? Huamin asked as she took the bowl of brown sugar ginger water. Do you want to tell me the truth? Qin Chu looked at her. No, I think you're just trying to fulfill one of her wishes. This has nothing to do with being a saint. You're really my husband. No matter what I do, you can't bear to scold me. Huamin smiled. Some people say that marriage is a gamble. You're willing to bet your entire life on me, so how could I let you lose? So, honey, no matter what you do, I'll respect your decision. Qin Chu wasn't someone who liked to say sweet nothings. He was a man of few words and was a tsundere by nature. However, he was always full of affection for Huamin. But honey, if marriage is a gamble, what if you're the one who loses in the end? You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.